All right, kids, we're coming online to you after dark. Well, actually, it's still dark. I guess it's not after dark. After dark will be in daytime, wouldn't it? I guess so. I'm James JLJ. This is JLJ Media, and I haven't been on this
All right,
late in a
kids, we're
while.
coming
Why am I
online
talking?
to
Why
you
am I talking
after.
twice now? Stop it. And I have a guest again. Last time it was Sean Kanan.
Oh,
It's my first time. It's my first time doing TV. And now, Rushy Flobo Boyce.
hey, what's up? Hey, it's nighttime, baby. Yeah,
It's,
JLJ.
it's nice to get the quiet storm voice. It's like,
Oh,
ready,
yeah.
ready. Folks, I do my church announcements, of course, as usual. It's JLJ Media. Follow bitches.
Do I have to clap while you do it?
No claps. Don't get no claps. You
Okay.
have to earn it. You guys follow me. Follow me. Follow Flobo too, other hand, also at Flobo Boyce.
That helps.
Follow him. Shit.
Please do.
Also, this Sunday, at not the Cow Palace in San Francisco, but here on JLJ Media, Frank and I are celebrating 9 years together as a couple. No, as JLJ, no, as not JLJ, as GH, all these initials, as GH Report, GH Mini Spotlight Collective. We're going to celebrate 9 years together. Plus, we will recap the week that was in Port Charles. And I have a special gift for Frank for all his years of servitude to me.
Servitude.
Yes, to me. So I'm very excited. He doesn't even know what it is. It's being sent to his house as we speak. I told him he can't open it up until live on the show. And he'll show you his incredible amount of emails. Don't worry, but we'll do that also. We're at last count, we're at 306,000 emails unread.
Google should send him a cease and desist. They should just come to his house and be like, "Excuse me, sir, we can't hold anymore. Just stop buying data and get rid of some."
He says cease and desist. I love it. I know. He's bought storage several times. He said
Yeah.
because of that. He's crazy. Hi Matt. Hi Beauty. Hi Kirsten. I was you on here a while because I guess Flo brought you on here because you don't come here for me.
Wow. Why you?
I'm shady.
Wow.
That's fine. However you get here, it's fine. We're glad you're here. Also, Friday, we have some people signed up. Friday, we have our happy hour, our last event for September. So please sign up for that. We have a good time. We talk about everything. So trust me, you have a good time. 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. Usually lasts a couple of hours. We have a good time. You can bring a beverage, no beverage, mocktail, cocktail, whatever, and we talk about it. And it will happen. No matter if it's one person, I have more than one person, but if it's one person out, we do these for sure. And October schedule is up already. So you look at October. We start these up again in mid-October, and they're on JLJ Media, where you find your wonderful podcast. This Sunday also, there'll be a new Knots Landing episode, and I interviewed Romy Park from Bold and Beautiful, who plays Penelope Poppy Nazawa. We had a great conversation. She is wonderful and wondrous. Leave her alone. I announced about that too. Leave it alone. I don't know if Flobo knows. And so it's a great interview. We had a great time. We talk about Poppy and those magic mints. We do. I think those are the church announcements for now. I'm interviewing Sean Kane and Michelle Kane tomorrow about their new book. So stay tuned for that also. I don't know when that's coming out yet, but we're gonna be interviewing them tomorrow. Hi Phobos. Hi Phobos.
Not me.
I don't know who that is. I don't know who that is. Flobo Boyce.
Boyce. That's me.
Yes.
What's going on?
You.
Hey.
Like your cousin Lionel Boyce, who was nominated for Emmys for The Bear.
Well, I don't know what he does, but he should win it.
I love The Bear. He's good on it. He's good.
I don't watch TV.
Name is intact.
Yeah.
Which name is intact. So I don't know if Flobo even caught this. I kind of teased this the other day, and Kirsten, you know this. We have 7 new books coming out within the next 4 months.
7?
Yes, but in collaborators, we have 7. And Flobo, they're longer than normal.
Go on.
They're ranging between 70 and 300 pages.
Thank the Lord. I remember it was a year ago that I asked you about having a novel because I was on a plane ride back from Japan and my I was in an emergency row and my little TV console didn't work. So I had to read books on my phone and went through all of the books I owned by you in like 10 minutes. And I was like, yo, Where is the rest?
Yes, you and Tony J. So I haven't written a novel, but they're longer and bigger and uncut. They're longer. I mean, they're long. Train of thought. They're longer, but one of the books that's coming out is a Mistletoe Road novel.
Interesting.
And Kirsten's excited because its title is The Mail Lady of Mistletoe Road.
Wow, there's only one male lady in the entire town?
Yep. And we
Interesting.
tell her origin story.
Wow.
And within that story, we also talk about Amick, who's kind of a shady character in the series. We tell his story a little bit. So that book's coming. So until I can get a Mistletoe Road episode out, I was like, maybe some books out with a couple of the people, do some origin stories. And actually, it was a fun. I had so much fun writing it. Actually, I had a really good time. I've been writing it for the last like 6 months off and on, but it's been a lot of fun. I've been
Yeah.
writing it. It's a lot of fun. I think it's about 200 pages.
So the Eliza story is on you, or do you have a collaborator for that one? Is it
Nope,
you?
it's me.
Dang.
James Lott Jr. sat down and mapped it out. I have all these, so folks. I always have these little there you go, line note thingies. I write notes all the time. I have a bigger one. I write notes on it. I have this size. I write notes on everything. When I started out, and I have my notes app, and I start writing on there. That's
My
what
guy.
So I dedicated to you, Kirsten, and to Brian Person, who plays Amick. So you both will get signed free copies from me, obviously, because it's your characters. So stay tuned for that. But I have 6 other books coming out with collaborators, some by myself. A couple of books from Doug Hess. We have a couple books coming out. Some more Forgotten Hollywood books coming out. I decided to release them after all. I just went through them and said, let's release them. To have more for the resume, we're gonna fill up the
Interesting. Interesting change of heart.
I know because he is like basically saving my company, so he gets whatever he wants.
Mhm.
Yes, and I can change my mind. That's what's so wonderful about life.
I
You're
didn't say
able
you
to
couldn't.
change your mind. What?
I didn't say you couldn't. Just very
No, I know. I'm just saying it out loud. Yeah, just say it out loud. I'm allowed to change my mind. So yeah, so very good. So we have some books coming out. So we have books coming out, and today I'm working on the albums now. I'm doing the set lists and figure out what goes where, and working on that too. And then we have 4 new audio dramas coming out next month. So Flobo, I've tried to decide to do something.
Oh yeah, well today I ate a sandwich. Take that. I don't know what were you doing.
You're such an overachiever.
I know it was a good sandwich. It was a caprice. It was.
Precarious. My next Zoom. Well, it's this Friday. Is the sub Zoom. We're not sub. I said so. Happy hour. Then the next one that's in October. It's underneath the video. I can't.
Yo,
remember.
how you gonna come to a Zoom and ask when the next Zoom is? That's kind of cold.
I know.
I just got here, man. What are you doing?
So, Flo, I decided to do like a real. This is a good discussion we can start off with. It's like I'm doing like a real network. You were young, but I'm doing like what Fox and WB and UPN did. I started doing a lot of Drama Fridays, and so I was releasing a show on Fridays. A new show on Fridays, and then I'm taking the HBO model, train people to watch audio dramas on these certain days. So whatever it is, you'll tune in. You'll see a new channel. So over the next 3 months, I'm staggering them out, and I'm starting to map them out. So the plan will be Wednesday, Thursday, Fridays. There'll be different audio drama.
Okay.
And I'll plus all the other offerings, but a different audio drama. So that's why they're starting out staggered. Kind of like every 2 weeks is a new audio drama starting, but on a different day. So right now it'll be Fridays, and then next month we're gonna have Thursday and Fridays, and then by November it'll be Wednesday, Thursday, and Fridays, a new audio drama of some sort. So it's like a block of audio dramas, middle of the week.
Oh yeah, you know what that reminds. I mean, you actually mentioned it. Remember when the WB first started, and I guess it was CGI, but they had every show have like this like signage and look like you're on the back lot. It's always cool to be like, it's now time for Cleghorn on Sundays. You know what I mean? Or
You're
Warner
watching
Brothers.
Disney.
I couldn't afford cable, but yeah, that's exactly what I meant. Wow, he had cable back then. All right, Richie.
We had a box. Hello.
My dad did not believe in boxes until like I was 17. He's like, oh, here, here. You're like, man, I'm leaving for school now.
No,
So I had
my
6 months.
mother dated people.
Wait, did she like target the guy that had the box first and asked him out, or she just dated a guy who happened to like? How did that work?
Benita, you tell me.
I don't really talk to Ben about that kind of stuff. I mean, I'm just asking.
It's after dark, shit.
Okay,
I know,
well,
I'm
call
not
your
there.
mama and ask her how she figure out who had the box in the hood.
I like to get but here's the thing. So, but that's the whole thing. I'm kind of like, so like next Friday, it's She's My Girlfriend premieres.
Oh yeah, I remember that show.
That's with Dana.
She's my girlfriend.
Yeah, She's My Girlfriend. I love the trailer. So we're going to do some more stuff with that. And then the following week, I should know this by heart. What the fuck? I can say right here by phone. Give me 1 second, kids.
Okay,
This is live. This is live.
we'll do it live.
Okay. So then, right after that, the next week, Whispering Headlines comes, and that's from Matthew Theon. Again, these are two that I did not write, I did not produce or direct. So we're adding other people's content, folks. My number one show for the last 5 days on network has been the Monsters After Show. That's done by 10th Floor GH.
Okay,
So it's not done by me. It's beating Forgotten Hollywood. Doug's not happy. So it's number one show because the show's hot right now. It's a huge hit right now. So, but I'm like, it's kind of cool to see a show that I didn't produce, I didn't write or do anything with. It's doing really well.
that's
Anyway, so it'll be She's My Girlfriend on. There'll be Whispering Headlines on Thursday. She's My Girlfriend on Fridays, and then like when one ends, another begins, and that'll be Bismarck, North Dakota, which Flobo's an episode.
I had no idea until a couple days ago. I was like, oh, all right, yeah, all right.
Episode. And then the text comes out also later this month. So right now it'll be Thursdays and Fridays. Then in November we have 3 more audio dramas starting, and it'll be Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
Okay, I'm a little confused. Not confused, but Sundays used to be the soap block, but
Still
that
is.
is
Sunday still. So Saturday is personal.
right.
It's really Saturday. So the really quick James Lott Jr. show, which we're working on season 8.
Mhm.
Really have a grandparents, lots of plane spotting, and a really short story project. That's Saturday.
Okay. And so can Sundays be both soaps and dramas, or that's strictly just okay?
So it's all soap related and soaps. And whether it like this weekend, I call it a different kind of soap block because it's not going to be the usual. It's going to be a taped Bold and Beautiful, taped Knots Landing, and then live GH. It'll be some kind of soap. It'll be some kind of soap block. And then we also count Edition Days as part of our block. So it's always be some kind of soap block on Sundays.
No.
And then Mondays are kind of reference. Mondays and Tuesdays like reference help Mondays and Tuesdays. It's Forgotten Hollywood, Yes Show with James Lott Jr., a lot of help with James Lott Jr., extra connections, Regina Page. So those are all kind of the first part of it is all kind of educational, helpful, lifestyle. Then we have a sprinkling of other after shows whenever they fall. Star Wars is always on Wednesdays. That's how Disney releases them. They release on Tuesdays. We always do it on Wednesdays. There's like a few others. I'm doing Only Murders in the Building and the Aaron Hernandez story. They both came out last night, so I'm a little late with those. And I do Neighbors. I do Neighbors on Fridays. So it's kind of like I'm trying to actually I'm actually getting organized and actually it's getting streamlined now. I actually have then I have all my sports shows that we have from Clintonwood, Indiana, which I'm working on. And those fall whenever they're supposed to fall. We almost have a sports show every day, almost during the week.
You can't be stopped.
People try. My thing is, Flobo. I'll tell you what my thing is, Flobo. You can ask me something. Sure, yes, Chikarius, you can ask me something. Yes. When I started this whole thing 4 years ago, I thought I was crazy. When I first came to LA 15 years ago, I thought I was crazy. And maybe I'm crazy. But I like to prove people wrong. So that's part of my motivation. Plus, I like doing this stuff. But part of my motivation is people tell me like that you shouldn't do that or you should do it this way. I'm like, no, I know what I'm doing. I'll do it my way. And when it succeeds, I'm very happy.
Okay.
I don't know, just to say.
Oh, I was okay. Wait, what's he going to ask you? I'm curious.
I know he's went from there. Yeah,
Oh, he's just gonna ask you something. Okay, all
yeah,
right.
you say I just looked at it. James Anderson. Like, okay, so I'm waiting to see.
I
But
mean, it's kind of weird. That's to be honest with me, when one of the most triggering things, and someone tells me, "Yo, can I ask you a question?" It's like,
yeah,
because if it was an easy question, you would just ask, right? So why you
he
prefacing my
always does that.
question with a question?
He always does that. He always asks first. I've
I
learned from
I
Mike.
I give you all the props in the world, James. That makes me instantly anxious. It's
Yes,
like, can we talk? Like, no, just talk. Go
I
ahead.
know. I've learned from some of my fans. They have ways of communication, so I'm learning people's different communication styles. Like when I just asked you, "What's my favorite show to binge watch?" So I'll answer that in a second. No, I was making a statement. I'm saying that I'm very proud of myself. I have over 85 shows on my network that I started from scratch, and then I'm like, people were telling me I was crazy. I thought I was crazy when I started doing it, and now it's finally coming together the way I want it to come together. 4 years later, 5 years later. Okay, thank you. So on to the next question. So here's something to say. We'll go to the next question. Yeah, okay. No comment. No, like, good job, James. Congratulations. That must have been easy, hard. No, okay.
I mean, it must be easy and hard is like two different things. I don't know what you want me to say.
Okay. You're mine. What's your favorite show to binge watch? I just want to say thank you. You're welcome. Okay. I don't know. He's thanking me. What's my favorite show to binge watch? I don't know. I don't know what that means. Meaning, like shows I've already seen before, and I just want to put on and watch. I'm assuming that's what you mean. I have a lot of shows that are like that. Actually, I have a favorite. Happy Endings, Sex and the City, Girlfriends. There's certain shows like if I want something that's just I can want just want to put on and just like I'll just put it on. That's what I'll put on sometimes. Sometimes I'll binge watch stuff on YouTube. There's a chick that I used to follow. She was doing all her flight attendant stuff during the pandemic before the pandemic. There's times I'll put her on and watch 4 or 5 episodes of that. So new shows to binge watch. Okay, now we're getting there. New shows to binge watch. I don't have any. I'm too busy to binge watch. I'm just busy watching. Because I
So
mostly just
busy.
like, well, most of my job, most of the shows I'm watching, I'm actually doing shows for. So I guess I mean, I really can't wait to binge watch any of them. I just binge watched 4 episodes of a new show called How Not to Die. So that's
What
new.
kind of show is that? Is it a drama? Is it
It's a
a
comedy.
comedy?
So it's on. So Hulu has a thing called Onks Collective. Onks meaning Black folks. And
It's always
there's
something.
yes, and there's several shows I like. Kerry Washington's Unprisoned. It's really good, folks. You gotta check that out. It's on season 2. And this new one by Natasha Rothwell, who's on my show, Insecure. I love Insecure. It's my show. And it's a new show, and they gave us 4 episodes, Flobo. So they said it's like 10. We only released 4 at first to get us hooked. So I did binge all 4 the same night. I watched all 4 of them the same night, and now wait for the new one to come out. I really loved it. It's about a girl who works at an airport who's afraid to fly.
Wow.
And her boyfriend is getting married, ex-boyfriend is getting married, but she loves him. And there's a whole side character. All these the side characters are the best. They're all like the best. And you just imagine working at an airport. And it just has all this stuff at airports. I love airports. I like being in airports, looking at airports.
I mean, I get it because I guess all the airports I've seen, I'm sure you've seen it too. Like, there's a lot of like rural ones. You're like, well, I guess people have to work here. But imagine if you're like deathly afraid of flying, but you gotta like pay the rent. It sounds like we need you in the plane. No.
Because she drives the carts around for people
Uh,
who need it, right? Which I want to do that job.
what?
Um,
Why? Hate people? What's up?
no, I mean, I don't. I I like people to a degree,
Okay.
but it's like these are all folks who need help. So it's almost like being like when I was a nurse. They all got some kind of like they can't walk or they have this or they have that. I don't know. I just wouldn't want to do that. Would you want to
Oh,
do it?
so you hate helping people? I get it.
I
Yeah,
just why I
yeah.
stopped nursing. Oh,
Mm.
I was so done. I hate sick people. I was like,
Oh
why am I doing
wow!
this?
Hot take! Wow!
After 11 years, I was like, ugh, I can't do that sick person.
I hate sick people, quote unquote.
Ugh. I said,
That is just awful.
let the nurses they do God's work, so I let them do it. The ones that are still in it, they it's all theirs.
Okay, how'd you get involved with it? If because I mean, it wasn't like it was a surprise. Like sick people, I had no idea. So how'd you decide to do it?
Well, I grew up with a family who was in the industry, so they were doctors and healthcare professionals. So for me, I thought that's what I want. See, I thought I wanted to get a job, go to college, get a job, get married, have kids, and live my life. That was my dream. I wanted a better family than I was having.
Mission accomplished.
No, I've never been married.
I
Had some.
mean, yeah, if you got a family and you're doing better off, right?
Was it better than my upbringing? That's a really good question. That's a whole different story. Oh my god, you asked me like two big questions. Let me answer the first question. Let me answer the first question first.
All
We'll get
right,
back. We'll unpack that one.
we got time.
We got time. It's after dark. Matt shakes Kane in agreement. Oh wait, I know. I was like old, wait, sick people. Ugh. Wait. I'm a natural caregiver, which now I am a caregiver. Which I would never wish on anybody. But I'm a natural. So I thought, oh, I like sciences. I want to help people. I didn't want to be a doctor, so I'll be a nurse. And back when I started, there weren't very many male nurses. This is 40 years ago. So I was made fun of wanting to be a nurse by women. It was crazy. So that again, what I was saying earlier about me when people wrong, I was like, because you don't want me to be a nurse because I'm a man, I'm going to be a nurse because I'm a man. So that kind of fueled half of that. The other half was I did want to help people at first. I thought I wanted to do it. And so I learned and I graduated and I was LVN and I did it for 11 years and realized now I was a geriatric nurse. So I worked with old people. And I was like, yeah, this is not my passion. This is not for me. It's very hard work. And it doesn't matter if they're old or young or whatever, it doesn't matter, babies, so it's hard work. Seriously, the nurses deserve all the accolades they get. They run the floors more than doctors, in my opinion. And I'm sure they'll agree with me. And now my daughter's a nurse. So it's kind of funny. She went to nursing and she's seeing how hard it is too. It's an admirable profession and it is hard. And just it wasn't my passion. It just was not my passion. So now I have the experience, I have the knowledge. I've saved some lives since then, actually. It's come in handy for many things. It came in handy for me to raise my children. So it does come in handy having my mother out. So I don't feel bad for the education at all. Like that's it's taken me for the rest of my life. But it was not my passion. To answer your question,
that happens.
so I
Yeah,
went in thinking I wanted to do it, but I didn't want to do it.
absolutely. Yeah, when I was a kid, I wanted to be a Power Ranger, so I get it. I did karate for 2 years, and then it was really hard. I couldn't break some blocks, and I quit right before being a black belt. The same thing, bro. Same thing.
No, it's the same level. I totally agree with you. I'm like nursing Power Ranger. I get it.
Yeah,
I totally get it.
yeah, saving lives. I mean, you've done so. I mean, I didn't have the opportunity, but yeah.
I've been. Well, we both have been. Yes.
You hate me, I swear.
Flobo thinks he's a comedian. It's crazy.
I mean, no, last of my jokes anyway. So, what about your family? What's up?
Back to my family.
Mhm.
That's a really good question. Was my adult life? Was my life? Did I achieve?
Right.
I hoped. I would say no. But what I did achieve, I was a better father than my father. That for sure. I was a way better father than my father. So I was a father I didn't have.
That's great.
So that for sure. But in terms of family, no, I didn't create the family I didn't have.
Sure. I mean, I know the marriage thing is debatable, but I think it's different if your desires change. I mean, one thing if you like want to get married, didn't, but you're like, you know what, marriage is really for me. I think that's still pretty cool. But it looks like you have a family that loves you. That's always good.
I don't know if they do, but here's the thing.
Oh, wow, wow, wow,
Who
wow,
knows? Who
wow,
knows?
wow, wow.
Here's the thing, Flobo. Because at first I wanted to get married when I was younger,
Mm-hmm.
and it's funny when you get older and you learn about life and getting into marriage. There are people I realize why some people get married. It's varying reasons, and that's not all about love. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and so I learned. I was like, I was craving something. And then we get all deep now. All of a sudden, I was craving something that I was not getting. So I thought. So I think I was just saying. I was just going to try that old adage. I'm going to break the cycle, repeat the family, get the family I didn't have. So after a while, marriage started being less important to me. Actually, it
Sure.
was like I saw a lot of marriages fall apart anyway. It was like that wasn't just mine. People's marriages didn't work. or folks who stay together, you're like, ugh, why are you still
Mhm.
together? For the sake of kids or for the sake of stuff, right?
Right. Green cards and all that.
Yeah, all that stuff. So I've been engaged 3 times, but
Did
I'm
you
not.
keep the rings or?
Well, the first one I was the one who asked, and almost got married. So it was even more than that. Read my book one day. I'll talk about that story. I might tell a story.
Which book? You have 75 of them.
I know. So we're gonna get that story out there one day. And then, but the other one, I was asked on Valentine's Day 2020, and I said no. That was for a green card. I know that was for a green card thing.
I
And
would.
I was engaged once before, and I just didn't. It just and that one, ring was returned.
Mhm.
Third one, I didn't get the ring because I didn't say yes. Second one, returned. First one, I don't remember what happened right then. I left town because I had to leave. I had to leave.
Wow. Well, I'm sure you asked again. Whether you say yes or no is up to you, but I think you'll be asked again.
You think I'm gonna I'm not even dating nobody. I'm gonna be asked. You think I'm gonna be asked to get married?
You think, are you dead? No. Yes, you're
I
still
am.
breathing. I think you'll get asked to be married again. Whether or not you say yes is up to you. I do think it's
That's an
possible.
interesting statement. Well, it's funny. I just did a show this week on my What show about how I'm so not even in the space of dating anymore. I'm so out of that whole. I stopped thinking. I haven't even thought about it in months.
I'm the same way. If first they don't succeed, just give up. But I do think someone still will ask you to marry them in the future. That is my Flobo sees the future prediction.
Folks, timestamp it, click it, and if it happens, and he's right. I mean, again, if you say I don't see it, but if he sees it, I don't know the future. But I'm just saying it's just so funny that I haven't even. I'm not on any of the apps. I'm not talking about. I haven't even thought about it in like 4 or 5 months. I was like, this is a little comfortable for me. Like I'm kind of like I'm not depressed about it anymore.
Mhm.
I'm just like I don't even know what I don't even.
Uh,
I don't
well,
even
you're not alone. I think I told you this a bunch of times offline. Like, wedding vendors are just going through it because after the pandemic, there was like the 2021, 22 like overwork with all these couples that were trying to get married. But this is like the first true post-pandemic year, and everyone's got used to doing things solo on their phones, food, dating, porn. Like no one's really connecting, and florists and venues and DJs are all struggling because no one's getting married. No one's believing in connection. At least out here in West Coast.
12 people are watching us. Thank you, 12 people.
Hey,
Yay
12
for all
people.
predicting the future.
Hey, I'm glad I'm here. Thanks, Kirsten.
Jacarius, you were on with Carson. I'm not your man. I know. Yeah, so I don't. It's just kind of funny. So that's interesting. I've never asked that. I've never asked that question. You should be a host.
I
I
should
never asked
be.
that question before.
Well, for me, I never wanted to be married, but the reasons changed my entire like I went from being like girls are icky, then it was girls didn't like me. And then there was a time where I'm like, oh, girls only want to settle with me. And I was like, oh, that's lame. So, but then I saw my brother's marriage and I was like, yeah, it didn't end well for him. I guess I shouldn't take that as my own trauma because it was really his. But I was like, man, my parents argue all the time. My brother's marriage lasted short of 7 years. I'm okay.
My thing is, I think my view is like screw all marriage is whatever. But no, I'm learning to go. No, there are people who I've seen relationships, and they're not perfect by any means, right? But they just seem to work. They work their marriage does work. And I feel like yes, if I really did find the right person, that maybe might take me a difference because marriage is being able to live with somebody, and just have that shit all the time. Are you a team? Like, do you work as a
Hmm.
team? Like, do you work as like you can have? I'm always about you being yourself completely. You have separate interests, then you have things together, and they just kind of like it all feeds into the pot. It's like there's a pot in the middle of the house, and Flobo goes out, and he does. Let's say I'm marrying Flobo, but we say that Flobo goes out. Well, I mean, no. Flobo Boyce lot. It works. James Lot Boyce. If I even you have big fingers. I don't know what kind of ring I'll get you. They're all see how long they are, kids. It's scary. And exciting at the same time. So I'm like, I'm distracted. I didn't say anything. I want to say, oh, okay.
Oh,
So the
stop.
fingers got me.
Stop.
If Flobo has his career and I have my career, and we're doing our things, that I hope that we'll be supportive of each other's careers. First of all, that's part of the pot. You're supporting that. You're like, you go, girl, you go, boy, whatever. You get that, whatever. Get that bag. What the kids say. You all that,
Who
and
does?
then at the same time, though, you're also looking out for each other a little bit. and you're there for each other. That's part of that. Maybe once a month you're like, James. Flobo goes, James, I got tonight. I got dinner. I got everything. We're gonna take care of everything for you. All you do is relax, and I got it all covered. That goes into the pot. That goes into the pot. But also you have your own friends. Maybe you have some friends together. You have family. I have family. You have family together. I'm always about you're just a team. Like you're all just kind of we're all just in this. Like we're all just kind of putting into the pot to make sure that everything is okay, that we're safe, our surroundings are good, everything at home is good. But I allow you and you allow me to be ourselves and go out there and figure out what's going on. But we're loyal, but you're still loyal to each other.
I'm not a therapist, but it sounds to me that you are the biggest fear of the marriage thing is a loss of self-identity. That is because you keep saying the right person, but then go into what you want to do. Like, yeah, I want the right person that would let me do my thing and make me food every once a month.
Normally it's the opposite, right? I've been taught my generation has been taught you're supposed to just meld together. You're not yourself until you find somebody else.
Who's teaching this?
My parents, generation before me, TV. I'm saying things. I don't know what your generation was, but my generation was taught.
I don't play generation games. I don't play generation games.
I know, but you sound yours is different than mine. So I'm
but I don't think it's a generational thing. I do think there's people my age. Because again, I went to school in the South, where if you're not 21 and married, it's a problem with you. Right. But I also understand like the desire of being your individual. But I think in your specific example, you were like, I want the right person, the right person. And I asked who that was. You're like, well, we do our own thing and I get food once a month. And it's like, that sounds like what you want. Like, what's the right person? If you had to describe...
if they were the right person, if they want the same thing. I mean, that's the right person.
Oh, so the same thing we were thinking. So they have to be exactly what you're thinking as far as philosophy.
No, not the same, but you have to be similar.
Okay,
you'll never find anybody the same. I mean, you'll never be the same.
Okay, that's my question. So the right person is not going to be the exact person. So how much of a deviation you're willing to work with to go, okay, man, this is like 90% of what I want. I'm fine. It's 70% of what I want. It's fine. You know what I mean?
I couldn't give you I couldn't give you a percentage because it depends on the person.
Sure, it does.
No, seriously,
it does. I agree with you.
I'm saying,
seriously. Okay. I'm sorry. My lunch money. Okay. You're so mad. You guys are aggressive.
Everybody, thank you for coming to the show. I'm going to end it right now.
No. It's my first. I'm sorry.
No, I'm saying the point I was going to emphasize, which is I'm saying that like there are people that I'm attracted to normally, and for a while I was like, I only want to date those people. We know those people too. You are like that. They only did those people. But my thing is, my blog about friendships, exactly. My thing is, you'll never find that. There's no perfection. You'll never find that. There's no perfect person.
Right.
If I get some maybe 8 out of 10 or 9 out of 10, it depends on what they're bringing. The thing is, if they don't think of they have. So here's the thing: they have to think of us as a team. That's the one thing they have to think of as a team. Now you make your own rules. I've always said that. Did you make your own rules together? So it may be, well, James, I don't come live with you. Maybe I can be okay with that. I'd rather you live with me, but maybe we'll talk about it. Maybe you have a nice house, I have a nice house. So you know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. I can't give you a percentage because it may be something that I don't even know yet. I'm going, you know what? I'm okay with that. That's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, you 4 or 3 times a week, and because I mean, but I do want. I'm sorry, I'm going to do a generational thing real quick because you asked me for me because I know my kids. They said they were raised differently than I was. They taught us other stuff. So I know for me, I was taught. You're not somebody until you find somebody else, and then you guys are complete. And if they don't think the way you do exactly, they don't match all of your things on your list, you're screwed. That's what I was taught.
It's a start from your parents.
From my parents, TV shows, books, magazines, life, friends who fell into that. And so I try to teach the next generation of my kids the total opposite. Like be independent. I had girls, so I had to teach them how to be independent, first of all, but also be vulnerable so a man can, come in somehow. And they both pick men who they're the dominant ones. So I don't know if that's my fault or their mother's fault or whatever. But then I know my grandkids who are Gen Z, I've had talks with, they have a whole different idea about relationships.
Yeah.
Than I do. So you're always fighting your generational stuff growing up, or like I said, or geographical stuff where you're growing up. Because you're right, there's certain parts of the country, if you're not married by 18, but your high school sweetheart, you're old maid. So I could, I come from the coast. I mean, you come from, I don't, I wasn't raised that way, but I was raised that usually you find your soulmate, you find the one. And I have a lot of friends who are my age who are by themselves upset because they haven't found their soulmate. They
Absolutely.
have a hard time. They have a hard time breaking that. I feel like I broke that because I've had some loves in my life that were wonderful. Then I look back and it just didn't last 30, 40 years, but they were great relationships. And I got much of what I wanted from out of them. And they said they got much of what they wanted from me. There were certain things that it just ran its course. So there are a couple things that are deal breakers, but they're like major, big, overreaching things. But the minutia of what exactly is on the list, I'm open to that. And again, it'd be like, I may like black man or something, but if I see a white dude that I feel, you already know this personally, I'll go for that too. So I'm saying I'm not a hard ass. I'm very flexible. And anybody who's known, well, not anymore. And anybody who knows
Breaking news.
Not anymore. I'm old now. But many people who've seen me date, who know my dating history, my men have ranged all. I don't have actually a certain type.
Yeah.
I'm open to whoever gives me the other stuff. But yeah, it is about getting. It's about getting from people too, I think.
I think you answered my question because I was like, well, how much percentage are you willing to work? You said, well, if someone's 8 out of 10 or 9 out of 10, I'll consider it. So 80% is pretty solid. But I guess the question I have is this. I don't think of relationships as a team necessarily. And I think it's because I feel like who's the opponent? Is it life? Are we fighting bills? But what do you mean by a team as far as supporting? Is there a lead kind of a thing? Are you saying everything is being addressed equally? Is some things covered by the partner, something that's covered you? What exactly is your team dynamic?
Everything you just said. It happens.
But it's two different things, though.
No, to me, it isn't. I'll explain. I'll answer your question.
I'm not fighting you, bro.
I'm not fighting.
I swear to God, I'm like, yo, bro. I'm learning. I'm a prude, man. You are the guy with experience. I'm trying to.
I love this kind of conversation. I'm talking to you. Like I talk loud. I love this kind of exchange. Listen, folks at home.
He's so mean.
This is me and Flobo's life all the time.
All the time. He's so mean to me.
Flobo hates me. That's you guys know that.
You keep saying that. Why do I hate you now?
He said he goes now.
Because you always say this.
Timestamp that.
No, because you hate me. You want to get rid of me. I ain't going nowhere. I'm like, I never said any of these things. Tell me what your team, damn it.
Said it with his eyes. No, here's the deal. No, this is all content. You better hit that like button, bitches. Anyway, we're giving you entertainment. Shit.
Yeah, I know. Hold on.
Okay. No, my thing I was gonna say is it's all of those things because sometimes I've seen some of the best relationships where one person is quieter. They're more of a good. You delegate something to them or something. They'll handle these things. They're good at this stuff. You're good at this stuff. Maybe a little louder, a little more maybe a little bossy or whatever. But somehow it works. Like somehow it's like. I've talked to many couples that go, yeah, I heard do all that. I don't care about all that stuff. And then they'll go, I'll let him do all of that. I don't care about all that stuff. I've seen some of the best relationships where it's like, they're all laughing at us. It's partly of some folks are good at taking charge of stuff, and other folks sometimes they like that. That's fine. Mm-hmm. But other people are really good at emotional stuff. They can take charge on that. I mean, that's what I say. Nobody's the same. I mean, nobody's the same. It's just that they all do parts of like, our jobs may not even be equal either. I've never been a person who's like, you make less money than me or more money than me. I don't care. Have a job, at least. I mean, that's all I care about, just have a job. And just make sure you take care of whatever you take care of that you need to take care of. That's the basics for me. I don't care how much you make or what's going on. Because I'm a generous person. If what I have is mine, you can have it too. I don't really care about that kind of stuff. Some folks aren't like that. Some folks are very much, this is my money, it's over here. Then we're not going to really work out. For me, it's kind of a deal breaker. Not saying I want all your money. I'm just thinking, but if we're living together, I'm hoping we are like, okay, yeah, James, I know you're talking about thinking about expanding the house. I stand behind that. I don't want to handle all that. Can you do that? Yes, I'll handle all that. I like that kind of stuff. Like that's a team thing. It's kind of like you may take lead on some stuff, you may take lead on others. And when I say about the whole making dinner for whatever, I think that's also part of it. Like some folks are not romantic, and some folks are romantic in different ways. I will say this on camera. I'm going to say this on camera, folks. One of the best dates I've had in the last 4 years was with Flobo. I will say that.
You gotta give context.
We didn't have sex or anything afterwards, but that's my problem.
You gonna explain that? 'Cause that sounds like I'm like, hey man, what you doing Friday? That's how it was. How you doing Saturday? You good?
He took care of me. I mean, he did. I had a great day. It was a great day.
Yeah.
And
It was a good point.
it was. There was a lot of fun. I'm just saying, I'm just saying that that's. But there's some people who are really practical. I've had through my life who are practical, and them buying a new set of towels does turn me on.
Oh,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? It does. Or I got the toilet paper today. Or I got dinner today. That my legs will open if you feed me or give me somewhere comfortable.
For most people, that does apply.
So I'm just saying. That's just. But I know folks that's not enough for them. They want specific. They have certain things.
Right.
So I'm just saying that so everything you say, I'm saying it's all of that. It's like it's just whatever. Again, you gotta make your own rules. And so I think if people come together and you always take care of the car and you take care of anything outside that you do the guard, like we're here, my brother and I take
Right.
care of everything outside the house.
Right.
He takes care of certain things too. Right.
So that's the reason why I don't think of it as a team. Like I understand that, and I think that if you find someone that's of the same mentality, that's what love is, right? Everyone finds their own different things. That's great. I don't, because I guess I'm a sports fanatic. I hate the idea of having these firm roles. Like, yeah, I could be aggressive at restaurants, but more passive with the car or whatever. To me, that's not fair. Because some days I want to change a tire. Some days I want to call the guy. Some days I want you to do the groceries. And some days I can tell you one of the most triggering things for me when I had my girlfriend, I was living in with her. I would go out to work and I would work 10 hours a day and I'll be slaving for the man. I'll come home and before I get to the house, the trash was right there by the door to take it out. You're like, you got to, hey, you know what I mean? So I like to have a more dynamic, more fluid
But see,
philosophy.
that's part of the team, though. To me,
See, that's the thing. I don't like those roles. I like if it's like the team dynamic is we'll handle everything together, sure. But I want to have that leeway of saying, hey, today I'm not feeling taking out the trash. Can you do it? Today I am going to do it. So
it's
I
a
don't
team.
know.
It's a team.
I don't think
It's a
that's a
team.
I don't see it quite as that because again, I'm a sports fanatic. There are certain roles on a certain team.
Right.
You always are the shortstop. You always are the center of the basketball team. That's why I never use those terms. But I do think that terminology is what people are saying now when it comes down to their person.
Okay. Well, everything you just said is what I like. That if you want to take out the trash today instead of me, then you go. I will not stop you. If you don't want to take it, I'll take it off. And communication was number one, period. Anyway, so I mean, just understand your own rules. But everything you just said, that's part of my definition of team. Also,
Oh, well,
you can change things. You can change it up. I mean, like it's like saying I'm not saying every time I want to have sex, I should initiate it all the time, or you
right.
should. It's just whoever just decides to initiate it, and that's just life. I'm
That's just life.
I'm,
So, so is there, what are some deal breakers now? Because you said that you're not thinking about it, but you are open, but like things change over time. If someone does this right, legs automatically open, but what are some things that you're like, these are things that will have, I cannot compromise on with somebody?
I don't want small children. I don't want to raise children.
Oh,
I remember I broke up with somebody because of that. I don't want to. I do not want to raise children. I don't want kids. I don't want babies.
okay.
I have grandchildren. I love that. I have small grandchildren. Give them back to their parents. I did it already. I
Okay.
did it for years. It's a hard, wonderful job. I am in my 50s. That's the last thing I want to do.
What's the cutoff? If they're 16, 17 is too young
They're
or?
teenagers. If they're like 16, 17, fine. They're almost grown.
Okay.
But I mean that's and I have to expect at my age. Well, see, the people I'm meeting at my age are actually grandparents. So like they don't have. I mean, a lot of them don't have kids, but some do. I mean, some
Yeah.
start later in life. But I met one person who raised his children that decided he wanted to be a foster parent and
Mm-hmm.
he wanted to adopt and he wanted to start for babies. And I'm like, yeah, James ain't doing that. And he
Geez,
understood.
that.
He totally understood. He's like, James, am I crazy? I go, well, no, some people, there's some folks who love being a parent to small children. They just love them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There's some parents who love animals. They get tons of animals. I'm neither of those kind of things. Where I don't want 7 dogs and 5 kids. I was never that way. But there's some folks who are like that, and so I think that's fine. I saw nothing wrong with you. I just think that's what you want to do. For me, when you raise children, it's all about them. I mean, it really is. It has to be to raise
I
them halfway
agree.
decent.
I agree
So
with
for
you.
me, no, that's a number one deal breaker for me. It's like, no, grandchildren, fine. You got grandchildren like I do, we're good. But if you have children, I'm not interested.
Yeah, I do think the kid things for me because like also I'm in my late 30s. So like I would like to have no kids in the picture, but I knew when last time I was in the dating market that that women are going to have kids. I can't, that can no longer be a deal breaker. But I will say maybe this is a generational thing because we have social media, that there are more people proud to be child free, which makes that part easier, which wasn't the case when I was a kid, when I was thinking about the idea of not having any children at all.
Well, it's funny. It's also here's what I run into sometimes because I'll talk to black men my age or older, straight black men my age or older,
Oh, okay.
and when I tell them I had girls, as I never had a boy, we're not still trying.
Oh,
You
right.
know, I'm like, are we done? And I've met guys my age, but I'm saying black men especially, who are on their they have a boy finally or have a girl. Like they kept going till they got one.
Right.
I was like, well, kids aren't toys, first of all. But number two,
You'd be
I'm
surprised.
like, no, I thought by this age, weren't we done with doing that? I mean, I'm like, I thought we were done. So I've heard that thing was like, well, you're not gonna get that boy you always wanted. I'm like, but I'm not even guaranteed I could have girls the rest of my life. I keep having girls. Oh well, childless cat ladies, I know.
Well, that's what Matt was saying, because the whole idea of being a spinster, you never had
Right.
kids. And I think that people didn't have kids existed back then forever, but now we reclaimed it by saying child free. I guess people told me I'm child free, like I'm drug free.
So
So I guess
the problem though,
you
Flobo,
know,
here's the problem.
there's a problem.
Well, here's the thing. It's not a problem. Here's the thing. We didn't live as long back then.
Hmm.
So if you were 32 with no kids, they said you're a spinster. You
Hmm.
died at 40. I mean, it's like you didn't live as long back then. So I see that now we're living so much longer. We're living. I mean, seriously, we are living longer. It must be strange, but I just for people. But like I said, I'm this next generations after me. I'm seeing that they're thinking totally different about it now, and I love it. I love seeing their my grandkids don't have kids. My grandson declared he doesn't have kids. And I thought that's very interesting. He's Gen Z. He's out. He's in his 20s. And the girl he was with didn't have kids either. They were together
Yeah.
5 years. No kids came out of it.
Of what use is a newborn child?
They
I,
smell good.
they smell. It's because of the milk. That's it. It's all the proteins in
Right.
breast milk. That's
Right.
all it is.
Yeah.
I can get you breast milk. You put out in the sun, and it'll smell the same.
I get breast milk too. Don't worry.
I
But yes. But then my
was
granddaughter.
joking. How do you get breast? I was
All
making a.
roads lead to JLJ.
That is creepy. Okay, that is.
But my granddaughter, who's now a new adult, she's taking her time too. So it's like I like this. I like that we're not just they already broke the cycle of my family. We
Yeah.
all had kids by the time we were 18. Last 4 generations. So it's like they already broke the cycle. This
Yeah.
last one, he just turned 18. I'm like, hopefully you're not gonna do anything. But so far we broke the cycle.
I know that they say that the United States is slowing up, probably not as bad as Japan or Sweden, but like people are not having kids, and because they are feeling the stress of like not having enough resources and all that, and some counties are giving incentives, and but it's cool to see that it's not necessarily a forced thing to do. My mom didn't like kids, but if she did, I think she'd be a lot more hard line with being like with the grandbabies. Like my dad was like, you don't have any grandkids. Like say classic, you're selfish. How dare you? No kids. Bada bada bada.
Yeah, I think another deal breaker for me is that you have to be conscious. I'm sorry, on some level, and meaning that if I come to you and say this person discriminated because I was black, and you tell me you don't think that's true, we can't get along.
Hmm.
I've had that many times where James, I think you're overreacting, or James, I don't know. Like, no, we're not doing that. If I tell you it happened, it happened. And I
Hmm.
think, and I just think, because I don't just say that willy nilly. I don't just say, oh, I think I'm not disagreeing. If I feel like something's going on that's not good, it's possibly an age thing, a race thing, a gay thing, whatever. I need somebody who at least, we will not try to gaslight me that I'm not doing that. That's a deal
Okay.
breaker,
Yeah, I get that.
at least, at the very least.
Hmm.
At the very least. I mean, we have to agree on every single thing. It's kind of like, James, I can see, like, at least say I can see that. I've had guys who just couldn't. They're like, oh no, James, and usually they're white. And I know I can't see that. What are you talking about? Like, that says, why is everything right? Like this whole thing. I'm like, I'll have discussions with you. I mean, about it, but I'm not here to teach. So I'm
Right.
just like, at this age, I mean, I was younger, it's a whole different thing. But now I'm like, at this point, you can Google something. You don't need to be teaching that.
Google is not a tool to use
I know.
anymore. See those AI responses? They be giving out wrong information. Back in my day, Google gave us links, not AI responses and sponsored links. Ah, Patooey.
Yes. So those are only kind of a couple things that are on my top of the list. I mean, other than that, I'm open to just about anything else. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't care about if you cuss or don't cuss or drink or don't drink. I will say if you're a vegan, it might be rough because I'm not giving up meat. So it might be rough. It may or may not work. And I have folks in my life who are vegan who I see them every once in a while, and I'll go to a vegan restaurant. I have no problem. I can find food. But if you're like, James, you can't bring meat in the house or eggs or cheese, I'm like, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen.
I hope you know people you date who are vegan aren't that dogmatic. Like,
Oh,
don't bring that meat up in here.
oh, some of the ones I have so far have been. Oh,
But it's like a strict lifestyle difference that can impact how you live. Like if you find someone who smokes, right? It's a little easier
right.
because smoking is
Yes.
bad for you. I don't do that. But when you say you're vegan, and that's great, and you are wearing my leather boots and you're having
Right.
an egg sandwich,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
your cheese has cheese in it, I mean, it'd be a problem.
I'm sorry. I might get in trouble here, but I'm just saying, a lot of my vegan people in my life, they're very, very, very about their veganness.
Sure.
And I'm like, because it's different, because you're right, it's different than in your recovery, from drugs or alcohol. You have to be. I mean, I understand that completely. And again, may not work with us either. I mean, it may or may not depend. Your degree. But when I noticed that I've dated a couple of vegans and and they kept trying to convince me, sending me pictures of pigs being slaughtered or whatever. Like, I'm like, I admire that's what you want to do. But that's not me. I'll do a meatless Monday. I'll go to a restaurant with you and totally find stuff on the menu. I have no problem with that and not complain, have a good time because I'm here to spend time with you. But I've noticed for me, not anybody's thing, but for me, it's very much they're very like that is their identity and that is that. It's almost like folks who are churchgoers who are super churchgoers. That may not work with me either. I don't know if that's a deal breaker or not. It depends on the person. But there are those who always talk about the Bible all the time.
What about because you are a Christian, right?
Yes, I am.
You're a follower. So what about that particular subculture? You're just like, nah, I believe in God, but I'm out. Like, what makes you say that?
Oh no, it's funny. My aunt Faith, who's a pastor, who's my spiritual guide.
Nice
We had to
branding.
talk about this. We had to talk about this. She's like, there's more to life than just church. Like there's God and there's spirituality and reading your Bible, everything, all that stuff. Because there are folks though. She goes, but I like Dexter. I want to talk about Dexter with somebody, or I like baseball. She's like, I want to talk about the Mets or whatever.
She
That's
should.
like, I know she said,
Let's go Mets, baby.
that was for you. That's for you. But I'm saying, but she was like, but there are folks we know that we were laughing about it kind of that literally they don't talk, just everything's a sin. They don't talk anything else. It's like it's all about Bible. But say that the super Bible thumping. Everybody's a sinner. Everybody's a sin. This is just a sin. That's it. And it's like, well, we can talk about other stuff. Like we don't have to. I mean, like just like life. Like did you get period today? Like whatever it is. Like, and that's the problem when it's anybody who's fanatical about anything, we will not get along.
Sure.
That could be anything. If you're just super fanatical about anything, it won't work. I'm not super fanatical about anything. It's not. I don't think it'll work.
Nothing. That's super about anything.
I don't think I am. Not super. Me and JR talked about that. We're both not super fanatical. We like stuff, but
Obviously, yeah.
I'm like, I mean, I don't. There's nothing I would die like on a hill on. There's just nothing. I don't. I mean, I like soaps. I don't. The soap world knows I don't do that. I don't care. I'm like, okay.
So it's kind of funny because like I know you're saying nothing, and I know it's a different thing. But like let's say I was on the game show, right? And it's almost like name one thing James Lott Jr. is fanatical about. And if you want to play along in the chat, you can. And I'll be like, how long do I got? 10 seconds. Prince? Because I was in the car and I was like, Prince is okay. And you damn near wanted to wreck us both to be like, no, Prince is a genius.
It's a great person to bring up. I love Prince. I read Prince all the time. But you know what? I'm not a Prince fanatic where I also know that Prince had his problems. I can't talk to Prince fans actually because a lot of them stand by everything. They go, Prince was a little shady sometimes, and Prince did do some people wrong sometimes. And Maite was 16 years old when he met. I can acknowledge all of that stuff. Prince fanatics, you can't. Oh no, you can't say nothing about it. And people who Prince, they will tell you. Michael Jackson fanatics, same thing. Madonna fanatics, same thing. And I love all three of them. But no, I'm like, no, I can admit when they do something wrong or something. I totally can.
Okay, so I don't disagree with you, but Pero. Is it not relative though? Because to me, you're kind of like I like one of his songs. You're like, I think to me, because I'm here, you're fanatical to me. But then when you're like, no, there's people who are more fanatical. Is it not all relative?
So I don't think it is. It's so funny because when I have this discussion with my brother JR, and we're totally just two different people, we kind of agree at that there's this level that's it. It's up here, and everything else is a varying degree. So I'm more of a Prince fan than you are. So that part is true.
I'm a
Like
fanatic.
that's I'm like a fanatic. I did just say, but you know what I mean? Like I love Barbara Streisand. That's my favorite. I have all her albums. I can say, but I'm not a fanatic where I can't say something negative about her.
Hmm.
I think fanatic is like when someone's just like, I love them. I love this. They do nothing wrong. What are you talking about? It's everybody against them. You know, all the the beehive, the monsters. Like, there are folks who are so into. I'm like, no, I can like Star Wars. Same thing. I love Star Wars. I'm a Star Wars nerd. But we're not gatekeepers. We're like, no, that show sucks. They
Hmm.
did this and this lightsaber war. Like, but there are folks who are like, no, James, you're wrong. It was wonderful. What are you talking? Like, it's like they fanatics to me. I feel like we all know a fanatic. I feel like we know when someone's being fanatic. I just feel like we just know when we see it. You
Right.
just know that's a fanatic. So I can see in your eyes, I'm a fanatic to you compared to your level. But I also think I would say it's generational. I would say that's also that too because I was there when Prince started, so I have a different connection.
That is generational. No, that is
Yeah,
that's
that's what I'm saying. I'm just saying
yeah.
generational. But I'm just saying. I'm saying that's what made it because I always ask you, what was like Madonna for you or Prince because they were already icons by the time you were cognizant of who they were.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, like Madonna and Prince and Michael Jackson. Well, Michael Jackson's a little different because Michael Jackson had like music videos that would premiere on Sunday night television. But like those other ones were like they were in movies or you were see people say sing it in the street. I'm like, Mom, what's that? Oh, that's Madonna. So it's kind of like it was already in the air. I didn't have that awakening of like turning on the radio and be like, oh, who's this? Like how we did when Lords of the Underground. When Lords of the Underground came out in the early 90s, when I hit the radio, it was like, yo, sleep for dinner? Who? Chief Rocka? Who? Like it was like a big deal. And I imagine that must have been it for you as well. But I say this because like I'm in the Black Baseball Mixtape Discord, and people are like, oh man, you're fanatical about the Mets. You talk about them all the time. And you're like, I say positive things because the fan base is so negative. I'm just like, I'm trying to be a balance. But to me, it was eye-opening when someone's like, "Oh, you're a fanatic." I'm like, "Yeah, I wear my hat because I'm from my town, but I think I'm cool."
I think you're like me though because one day he and I were having a discussion, folks. We were having a discussion, and I said one of the things about Drake that just kind of bugs me is all his songs sound similar. And I know you're a Drake fan, and you said the perfect thing. I was like, I love how you said you're like, I cannot disagree with you. And you still like him. So I'm saying that's how I feel like if I say to certain people who are Drake fanatics,
Yeah,
what are you talking about? You're a crazy person. You know, they'll come after you. The Swifties, they're fanatical. They are
yeah.
the Beehive, they're fanatical. The Army, Rihanna's Army, they're fanatical. Those
The
folks
Navy,
are they the Army?
the Navy.
Oh, Navy. Sorry.
Well, I got to be honest with you. Here's a fun fact for those who don't know about Rihanna. So like,
That's Rihanna.
she's from Barbados, and they made her one of the national heroes of Barbados, which is wild because there was like slave freedom fighters, the first prime minister ever, and Rihanna. So because I am Barbadian American, I literally have to address Rihanna as was it the right excellent Robin Rihanna Fenty.
Okay.
Is that weird?
That's
So
fair.
shout out to the right excellent Robin Rihanna Fenty, the Navy, and her panties. I mean, Savage Fenty or whatever it is. Yep.
Yes, Savage Fenty, yes. That is weird. That is weird.
Yep.
But she has brought attention to your island, so there you go.
Yeah, I always tell people in the year, 1996 BR before Rihanna, no one cared about the West Indies at all. This is why I never tell people where I was from, not because I was embarrassed. It was like, yeah, man, Jaman. You're like, it's the whole different, forget it. But now it's like, oh, you related to Rihanna? Like, no, I'm not related to Rihanna. We got the same forehead. Can't
I
you
make
tell?
jokes about that because the forehead stuff. I've been to
I,
Barbados. So actually, I have been there. I went there in 2008. I had a great time. I loved it. My friends were Wentworth and O'Neill. That's their first names.
Wentworth.
And we had a good time. So my stepmother and I went together. So I enjoyed it. That was the first time I was actually on the wrong side of the street driving.
Wrong side. It's true. 80% of the country drives on the right side of the road.
I
80%
do.
of the
So
world. If it's
I
the
did
world.
that, and I love the Caribbean. I loved it was very British, yet it was Caribbean. It was both, and that was the first time I got to see that. And his islands near my island, St. Eustatius. So I
Oh
saw
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So
I have
I
to
saw.
go out there at one point. St. Eustatius or Puerto Rico. I have to go. I have to visit those.
Yes, you have to go. Yes. But no, but the thing is, that's so yeah. So, but I don't find you. I feel like you're like me. It kind of is like we can admit when I feel like fanatics, and you so fans know this, that there are fanatics who, when they're fanatical about something, there's nothing wrong. You can't disagree. You can't comment. Like it's this and that's it. It's very stubborn. It's very narrow. It's very this. And I'm like, I don't feel like that way about anything. I'm just like, well, I mean, things change. I mean, Michael did some shit he shouldn't have done either. Madonna, the same thing. Like, I love them. I do. I love, and I said, yeah, I love Prince. He's not wrong. I just bought a Prince 40th anniversary Purple Rain book. So, I mean, I love it. I love him. But I'm like, but he did some stuff that was not kosher either. He was screaming at people as fans at one point, all kind of stuff. And he was wrong, but he was right about a lot of stuff too. So that's another story. But I saw the flag. But I just feel like, again, you'll know when someone's too fanatical for you. Also, I think you'll know that when they're too strict on something. Yeah. And I'm like, I don't have that. There's nothing in my life that I'm like that. I just don't.
Oh, we'll find it.
That's totally Flobo. He's gonna find it, exploit it, and make me.
Yep. No, that's exploit it. Just be like, see. That's all the satisfaction I need. See.
So I don't know. But anyway, the other things you just said, actually, to me, that's all team stuff. To go back to our original conversation,
all right,
you said feels like team stuff. I mean, it's like,
yeah,
I know nothing is, everything's lopsided. Because I did a blog that friendships are lopsided. I did a whole blog on that this week, and that's what he's referencing. Because it's true, it just is. And that's just, I learned that as an adult. That it doesn't say they can't work. It's just saying that most friendships, they're lopsided. Yeah, one person likes the other one more, or one person looks up to the other one more, or one person wants more from the other. Like, it always happens. It just is how it is.
Yeah. No, I think it's because I'm a sports guy and I know there's like role players, like this is what you do on the court. That's why I never use that terminology, but I don't disagree with the team dynamic, right?
Again, terminology is different. Flo and I both like words. We are wordsmiths.
I try not to admit that in public, but yes.
I'm just saying, he likes words.
I hate being smart in public. It sucks. I can't do it. I try to be as dumb as possible. People keep outing me like you. Be like, hey, you're a smart Negro. I'm like, keep it down. When Massa finds out, I get the whippings.
Oh my God. I like appearing smart, so screw him.
For sure.
I don't care. No, but I'm just saying that we like words, and I get it. Some words, I mean, they do conjure certain things. So I get that part. But if I'm just telling you, everything you said fits under my definition of team.
Do you have the word of the day calendar, or do you do like a word of the day?
I used to every year. I used to have one. I don't do it anymore. I think I do it online now, but I used to do it all the time and learn a new word and the whole thing. As folks know, I'm a 2-time spelling bee champion and the whole thing. So I do like words.
Not one time, but 2 times. Okay,
Twice.
Now you're just bragging.
I did. I once was in high school, once was in elementary school. So I came second place in the district in high school. So
what is that? What happens then? Do you get like a prize or money or?
Back then, so I'm trying to think. It was like 80 years ago. So let's see. The first one was 1970, whatever. So like,
you are that old, yeah.
I am that old. So yeah. So that one, I got a trophy and I lost a friendship. That was why I've done that one. I won't out that person, so I'm not gonna out that family.
Actually, I know the story. You told me that.
You know the story, yeah. You know the story. The parents were not happy with me. And then the other in high school, because it was for schools, so I didn't get no money or nothing. It was just like you get bragging rights, you get a trophy, you get a sash or whatever.
Trophy. Cool.
And so I got a second place trophy for the district. I got first place for the school and second place for the district.
So I was never good enough at anything to get not to say what was me, but I was never like I never excelled at any one aspect of school to get trophies or medals or a high five. I was decent enough at everything. And I was always jealous of athletes, in your case, spelling bee athletes, to get stuff. I don't know.
I do like words. I was always a writer. So spelling bees were just really easy. I like spelling bees. I was just like, I gravitated because I played sports, I played instruments, I was first chair, second chair, I know that, but I never won awards for that either. I just would do, but I have some trophies here and there, but I didn't win awards either. But I was always involved in the school stuff, so I got service to school awards and things like that because I was always involved in. I created the Arbor Day program at one school and all this stuff. So I was always I was me then. I was me then. I was always behind the scenes producing something. But the spelling bee was one thing that was mine, and my grandmother Mitzi, may she rest in peace. She loved words, and she's the one who taught me the love of words. And she was just like, you have to. She kept saying, "Okay, you are Black in America, so know English language first, then you can do all the slang afterwards." That was always your thing. Like don't know how to speak regularly, so to speak, for the folks, so I can get ahead. This is the 70s and 80s back then. And she goes, but then you have the slang and have some fun with the language, but get to know it first. And that was something that stuck in my brain when I was a kid. And I just always, I was overachiever. I tried everything. I was overachiever. I was a total overachiever, Flobo, always. I look back at myself and go, oh my God, I was too much.
That's weird because I feel like I overachieved, but I was a career B+ student, so maybe I didn't overachieve enough. But it's fine with me, man. I mean, as long as I get the 85, mom was happy. the 88, that's fine.
Well, you spoke to my mother. She told you I was always self-starter. Always, she confirmed. I just took care of everything. I just did it. I'm going to do it myself. Want to try something? I wanted to go to Hawaii. I got on a baseball team, got us to Hawaii, and went to Hawaii. I was 9 years old. I mean, that's just kind of how I was always a go-getter. When I was laser focused on something.
Unfortunately, one of my favorite R. Kelly songs, but I can't play that anymore. I'm a go-getter, a go-getter, a go-getter.
Yeah, we don't play that anymore, folks.
I'm sorry, man, but there are some R. Kelly songs I play in the privacy of my own home. I'm not saying that I support what he did, but the music doesn't disappear. The memories don't disappear. I gotta do a little something for myself.
It is.
Step in the name of love.
It's tough.
I want that body, yada, yada,
He did write one of the best Michael Jackson songs. You are not alone. I am here with you.
It sucks. I mean, I understand why he's canceled. I'm not trying to advocate for him.
I watched the
Lock him away in the vault, but I will say that the cover of "I Will Always Love You" is better than Justin Bieber's. I know that.
All I know is I was also trapped in the closet all 95 chapters.
Because it's a remix to Ignition.
Yeah, exactly. I was in. Yeah, I mean, he was. Yeah, anyway, that's the story. I don't want to talk R. Kelly.
Mm-hmm.
Not in this climate right now. I don't want to.
Not in this climate. Yeah, don't get in trouble.
Ooh, I won't get in trouble either.
Well, you know what? I used to feel real guilty about that, and this is kind of a racial thing, but I went to Chapman University in Orange County. That's actually got me out here in California, and they got rid of it after I graduated. But in the film room, there was a giant poster for Birth of a Nation. You ever seen Birth of a Nation? Yeah, so I never seen Birth of a Nation. It don't paint Negroes in a nice light. It actually
really, you don't think so? Really?
Hey, it is directly responsible for reviving the Klan. And so I asked my teacher, and I was like, "Hey, why is this poster even here?" Right? I think it's a valid question. And of course, it became a controversy after I graduated. Took it down. But at the time, my teacher goes, "We have to divorce the content from the technical marvel that is the film," and they left that hanging. I said, "I will never give a dime to Chapman University." So I understand, and people can be like, "Oh man, forget it," and stuff like that. So when people say we're done with R. Kelly, I'm with you. I am done with R. Kelly. But I just know when I saw it when I was in high school, I equate these memories with these songs. It's kind of hard to get rid of them, but I won't hang a banner of Robert out there for people to see.
The thing that my brother and I always talk about, my brother JR talk about, and it's very true, because I know stuff's coming out with James Earl Jones or Fighty's old they interview stuff. Almost everyone on some level in entertainment has something. Finding out. Some of, I'll make sure I can use my words carefully, some of the Black men entertainers were beating their women's and cheating on their women's, and some of them were underage and some were above age, but they put out great songs. A big one, Diana Ross and Berry Gordy. Two superstars. You can't. I mean, Berry Gordy changed the face of music. Diana Ross was his biggest star, arguably, in the world.
Yeah.
You can't. So yeah, she had a child out of wedlock. Try to pass off somebody else's or whatever, and you look at her, look just like her father. And I'm saying it's like I love Diana Ross, solo Barry Gordy. I mean, like it's kind of like it's we would have to separate almost everybody. It's one of those weird things that we're not condoning what any. I don't beat my women on, so I don't
Right,
all
right,
that
right,
stuff.
right.
But it's kind of like I mean, Jerry Lee Lewis married his 13-year-old cousin,
Right.
but he's part of the birth of rock and roll. Ike Turner, even Tina Turner said of all the things, she became Tina Turner because of Ike. Ike had some talent. That's kind of the thing. He had talent. He saw in Anime Bullock, he saw talent, and he was not wrong. And they say he was the birth of rock and roll, basically. Rock in '88. That was the first song. So it's kind of like James Brown, Ray Charles. They're all beating. They're all doing stuff. So it's kind of like I know what you mean. Al Green, all the hot grits on him. All that stuff. It's kind of like, what do you do with that? Like Marvin Gaye was heavily into drugs at one point, but I mean, what's going on is a landmark album, but you can't. It's like it's kind of it's just like it's. I'm with you, and we were talking even extents like Bill Cosby and stuff. I was like,
Oh
tell me,
yeah.
for many of us, we have this talks extensive, but I'm saying for many of us, the show was good. We liked it. He was an
Right.
I Spy, Fat Albert. I mean, he had a career that was real, and his comedy specials were just some of the, I would cry laughing so hard. Stuff came out he did later. I don't condone any of that
Right. Right.
whatsoever. But it's like he was an influence on some of my life. It's like I don't. OJ Simpson. I used to watch those commercials, Hertz commercials when I was a kid, and he was leaping over stuff, and he was the bomb. He was, and so you cannot tell me he was not good in Naked Gun movies. He is so funny.
Yeah.
He killed those two people. Sorry, folks. That's all I think. He killed them in the story. I'm sorry. I'm black, and he killed him. I think he killed him. So he got away with it. That's what I think. That's what I think. So, and I've said that for a long time.
Yeah.
Daisy Flower. Hi. I would say everyone has something dark in their past. I know it's just one of those kind of things. So I'm
Daisy
with
Flower
her.
off the top rope. Okay. Hi, how's
That's
it
my girl.
going?
That's your girl from Brooklyn.
Hey, what's up?
But my thing is, I agree with you, Flo. Like, I just feel like it's yes, in public, I may not be endorsing all this stuff, right? But yeah, in private, if a song comes on in my Spotify, that's
Yeah.
from one of their catalogs, I'm not going to change it.
Right. Like I feel like I don't know. Maybe I'm weird. This might bite me in the butt if I try to run for president. Someone will find this interview and clip it out. But like, I think there's a difference of saying I remember that movie or comedy special as a kid, and I enjoyed this as a kid. Of course, I'm not going to advocate. I'm like, oh man, you got to check out this
Right.
guy. He's amazing because you know what he did. But it is interesting when we have heroes and we learn they're no longer heroes. What do you do with if they help you through dark times? If their work helped you through dark times, you realize, oh no, this guy beats his wife or he gambles. It's like, it
Or
sucks.
he's Diddy.
Or he's Diddy. Like,
I'm seriously going through it right now. I'm seriously going through it right now.
it's fun. It's not funny, but it is interesting about Diddy because the pylon has been swift, right? And rightfully so. If everything is alleged is allegedly true, then he should be able to be punished to the extent of the law.
Right.
But I know growing up in the 90s in New York, quote unquote, Diddy ran the city. It's like people wanted to have the giant coats. People wanted to do music videos
Yes.
like Diddy. People wanted
Yes.
to be in his nightclubs and it's like,
Yes.
man, like imagine modeling yourself after someone only to find out they've been doing some things that were depraved. Like, is it a crisis of your own conscience? Like, am I bad for thinking this guy was a hero? I don't know.
Well,
Elon Musk is another guy too.
it's like Roseanne. I'm a huge
Roseanne?
Roseanne fan. I think that show is required viewing for people. The original Roseanne series.
I couldn't do
Um,
it.
you can do it. I love it. I think it's because I loved her stand up before that. Again, I knew her. So you were young, so I knew her stuff, and and she was so different than everybody else at the time. And I think everybody else is pale. They just Grace Under Fire, all those shows, they're all pale in comparison. I think Roseanne, as she got better, because the writing got tighter, everything, it just really, I loved her. I just loved that whole show. I loved it. Joss Whedon loved Buffy. Buffy's my favorite shows of all time. Love Buffy. Love Angel. I think Buffy's one of the best written characters for a woman. But to hear what he did to women
Yeah.
outside of it, you're like, what the fuck? I read his Wonder Woman script and it was the bomb.
Mm-hmm.
He knows how to write. He knows how to write women as
Right.
heroes. Yet in real life, he's an anti-hero with women.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like I see these things, I go, God damn it.
Well, not affected me personally, but I know a lot of the J.K. Rowling fans are going through it
Oh
because
yeah,
after they read Harry Potter and then her views afterwards.
yes. I'm not personally connected either. But I'm
Uh,
saying, but for me, those are two examples to me where I was like, Sean Combs, I looked up to him. I looked up to him. He was my age. He came from nothing, and he brought me Biggie. He brought me Little Kim. He brought a posse of folks that I loved. And there you have it. Jay-Z Flower says, Scott Baio, Charles in Charge. Kirk Cameron.
Charles in charge. Kirk Cameron.
like Kirk Cameron, another one who's like getting people upset. Antonio Sabalo Jr. They're all like people we all loved back in the day, and now
Nicky
they're
Jam.
super. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's tough sometimes. You're like, well, God bless America, because you're like, but that show is still good, or that product is still good from there. Before I knew all this stuff, it's like and I know with us men, especially, a lot of times we're better at compartmentalizing than women are. I know a lot of women just you do that, that's it. Men, we're kind of easier with that. I can no, that's over there, this over here. Then you kind of don't want to support them anymore because you're like, but that sucks. But it's like Nas. I heard some of the things he did to Khalees, and I was like, I like Nas. I love Khalees. I'm like, how do? And now the Neptunes are splitting up. And I was talking to our friend Mike Brown about that. He's a huge fan. He goes, now I'm questioning it because now it's like the second or third collaboration. It seems like Pharrell's done wrong. And it's like, so it's kind of like, it makes you question. It just makes you kind of go, well, what's going on here? I'm looking up stuff, so to speak. But I know it just means we don't know everybody we see on. We don't know them. I get it. But I get it. It's just tough. But like I said with Roseanne, now she says stuff. I'm just like, girl, I loved your stand up. She had a show at Trump Tower years ago before Trump was. It was hilarious. I cried until I peed myself. And now she says something like, what? What are you saying? And I used to love her stuff because she had a great take on just the world at one point. And I don't know, man. I know what happened. I just like Bill Maher. Don't care for me. He's turned into an old white guy now too. For some reason, I'm just like, I'm done with you. Also, you were a libertarian. I used to watch Politically Incorrect. You were the bomb.
Yeah.
Real time. When you first started, you were the bomb.
Yeah.
And now you're whining like everybody else. Like, I don't know what's going on with the liberal. It's like, okay, I'm kind of done with you. I'm like, I liked you. I used to watch the show every Friday. That was my thing.
Yeah.
It's just tough.
Do you worry about that? I mean, not necessarily that someone find yourself controversial, but you being yourself could be accepted one day, and then the rules of what's considered acceptable can change underneath you, and all of a sudden you become controversial the next day. Do you worry about that?
I've had that before, so I know exactly what I feel like. I was a hashtag on Twitter at one time.
What was the hashtag?
I forgot at this point, but it was because I spoke out on several issues in the soap world. And because someone accused me of trying to swindle people, which was not true. And yes, $15. That was trying to swindle people. And I had actors on my side. I was twice I was majorly attacked on Twitter, which changed to this day, my whole Twitter exchange. It was like overnight, it changed. Like overnight, all of a sudden I was pariah number one on an app. And that was, and I just think, oh, who cares? It really hurt my feelings. It was not fun for like 3 or 4 days to just be continuously attacked and watching people fight over me. And I thought that's not fun watching either. Like James is not like that, blah blah. And that's right. And they got actors involved. There's this whole thing I feel like it was spiraling out of control in front of me. And so I was like, I'm out. I'm out. I just post on there. And so I'm like, I know what it feels like to be on the end of that. And it's different because here's the thing. I do shows, opinion shows. You do opinion shows too. So I already know that some of my opinions may rub people the wrong way, which has happened. I mean, I've had death threats. I've had all kinds of stuff happen over the years because of my opinions about a show. That's kind of normal. I'm not saying it's normal, but I'm used to that. But this was different. This was completely different. It was an attack on my character, on who I am, my business.
Wait, so okay, so not to make fun of this, but when you rank things, death threats aren't as effective as being your character?
No, it was like 1 or 2 people gave a death threat.
Okay.
200 people are attacking me on Twitter. That's, to me, that's different.
Okay, for sure. I mean, I've never been there, so I could never.
Yeah, that's different. No, death threats are fun. But it was more like, I'm going to find your daughter. I know she's in Sacramento, that kind of stuff. And I was like, that's not good. Let me call homegirl. Just I don't know if they know where she lives or whatever. I never say anything. but it was like one person once every 4 or 5 years. That would do that. That would do that. I had a stalker a couple times. That's scary, not fun. But I'm saying it's a different world than when you have 200 people coming at you about something over and then you keep going. You know the bandwagon. And people who don't even know who you are jumping in, giving their 2 cents. People I thought were my friends on there who I realized, or not my friends, they're here for the clicks. So they would join in. Yeah, that's why I learned the word mutuals. I didn't know what that meant. Me and James, like, we're mutuals. And what he did was incomprehensible. Like, I didn't murder a baby. Like, what are we talking about here?
Right.
It was very like, they're really attacking me. They were really attacking me. And I seriously was upset. It was a feeling I never felt before. It was very different than a fan or two coming at me.
Well, real quick, because Daisy Flowers says she's like Trump in the 80s.
Oh, we did too.
His appearance in shows. So I remember when The Apprentice dropped, I was in college at the time. I know, I'm young. When The Apprentice dropped, we had viewing parties because it was a big deal. And my second ever stand-up comedy appearance, I had jokes about Trump because back when he was like the guy from The Apprentice. And it was like fun because he was a symbol of what we thought successful business was. And now it's a different thing entirely.
Yes, and well, here's the thing: my brother and I both read Are the Deal. We were kind of fans of him. He kind of was overblown and bloated. We kind of like that. But he was a businessman. That's the whole thing. He was a businessman. He had nothing to do with the country or anything like that. So I've been in Trump Tower. I mean, in Atlantic City, there was a couple things I've done. Taj Mahal. I was there years ago. It was back in the day, but he's totally different now, and it's okay for us to change our minds. That's right.
Did you ever get a Trump steak or Trump University?
Trump
I had a Trump tie. When I first did comedy, I had a Trump tie because I had to go to a show where like all the men have to dress up to perform stand up, and you're like whatever. So I went to Macy's, bought a white tie, and it was a Trump tie, and I was like, oh, a symbol of excellence. If I only knew.
Hi, Kirsten. Sorry. Hi, Sherry. No, I
Hi,
didn't.
Sherry.
I do all that, but no, I know that it's tough when you like someone and they go through something that's like horrific, horrendous. But when you said the thing about the needle moving and changing, I do know what it feels like. Actually, I can actually say I've had that. I've had the experience of going viral for good reasons and for bad reasons. I've had both.
It's only happened once for me, back when I was on a show on Spotify. So we had a bigger audience where someone clipped us out of context and was trying to undercut us. And that was scary for about a day and a half. But thankfully, the people at Spotify were like, yeah, we don't care. We're just a data company. But like, I can imagine you have an opinion. You're like, I'm willing to talk about the opinion. And someone plucks it out, they warp it. And then now you're fighting for your life, you know?
Literally, and I never thought of online to be like, well, when I can block people, I can people. It was so much I couldn't even get to it fast enough. And so it's kind of like it's just weird. And it's this weird thing because the rule, like you said, the needle totally changes. You're a media darling, all of a sudden you're not, and it's because it's mostly it's because it's bandwagoners. That's like because these folks who are like. So remember, I got to a fight with Robin Strasser, a very famous fight with another famous actress from daytime years ago. She misunderstood something I said, and I was being nice. I'm like, man, we got you like, but people would jump in, just apologize to her. And she's older than you are. I'm like, I have nothing to apologize for her. And I'm like, she's going hard. She was going hard on me. And to this day, we don't talk to this day. She again, not being a fanatic about anything, I recognize her importance on Wanting to Live and her daytime. She was Dorian Lord, Tony Gibbs, all that. But it was just like it was this crazy thing. I'm fighting with the daytime diva, and her co-stars are like, James loves daytime. Like he's not. What are you talking about? And it was over age, and I'm the first person to speak about age. I'm the first person to call out ageism, and she thought I was calling her too old for TV. I mean, I did not even say that.
How did it get resolved?
It didn't. I blocked her, and she went on. She kept talking shit about me for about 2 or 3 days after that.
Oh, damn. I'm sorry.
And to this point, we've never spoken since.
Well, that's unfortunate.
I know.
It's a misunderstanding. Yeah.
It's totally misunderstanding. And when I called her out on it nicely, it was like she could have been like, "Oh my god, I read it wrong. Sorry to say." No, she doubled down.
How do you call someone out nicely?
I was just like, I said, "Oh my god," I said Miss Robin, and she tried to. No, we're not. It's Miss Strasser to you. I said, I like usually I forgot. It's usually when you know them, you can say their first Miss Robin or Miss Helen. But yeah, Miss Strasser. So that was the first thing. And I said, I'm sorry. I said Miss Strasser. here's my actual tweet of what I wrote. I'm actually on your side. I'm like, I'm against all ageism. She didn't. She was just like, no, you did. She just ignored it. She was like, no, you were coming after me. And I went, and I said, well, why don't you call my show and let's talk about it? Let's talk about ageism and how tired it is, blah, blah. I wouldn't pay you or give you money to go. I'm like, I'm asking you to give me money. It just exploded over that. And maybe we'll remember that. Some of you guys in the chat remember that. It was big that we were fighting.
Wow.
But it's like, but I was nice about it. I know he's gonna be mean about it. I was like, oh no, this is what I said, and this is what I meant. And I was trying to tell her this one, because I was a fan of hers.
Yeah.
I was a total fan of hers. It was like 2 weeks before that, I had posted a thing of my grandmother's name. She said, Mitzi's a great name. We were getting along to that point. Like, we never fought before.
Oh, that's
So I was like, but I think she read something, and I heard she's a little bonkers. Did I say that out loud?
I mean, you can. I can tag her if you want me to.
You
4 years later, yo, you know what I heard?
that was a long time ago, folks.
You bonkers.
Yes. You have any questions for Flobo? You got any questions for him? Yeah, it's nighttime questions.
Because I'm after dark, and I know you have the best guests in the show. I just figure if anyone wanted to ask, but the thing is, they all know me, so I feel like that's kind of a dumb thing.
I know about you. But if you have any other questions for him, good. I was gonna ask you, did we ever do my 5 random questions with you?
I think we did years ago during the pandemic.
I think we did too. Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, whatever it is, the answer is 17. And nachos.
Oh, that's not.
That's effects.
Maybe
high heels. What? What is it?
Oh, no, we're gonna do 5 random questions right now because.
Oh yeah, I was promised games. Give me some games.
I'll give you some games, Flobo. He's oh my god, he promises me a good time all the time. It's crazy. Here's the deal. So we're gonna do 5 random questions that you guys know at home. Because people told me the other day they're afraid to do it. I'm like, it's not nothing scary, just 5 random questions. So I ask him 5 random questions. Then I ask the same question, the 5th question, the same with everybody. Do you understand what I'm saying, Mr. Flobo Boyce?
I don't know because I don't watch other stuff this far. I usually go, he's crazy, send, and that's it. So I kind of drop in early or late in your shows and leave early. So,
but here's the deal, folks. So I'm gonna ask him 4 questions. And then 1 question is the same question I ask everybody. Oh my god, don't do a list. It's too late for that.
Are there like surface questions like favorite food or like, when was the last time you was beaten as a baby? Because I don't know what the vibe is. I mean, I want to prepare myself.
You don't prepare yourself. Don't prepare yourself.
No, please prepare myself. I like preparing myself.
Nope. Nobody prepares yourself. This is not that kind of show.
Can we go back to you and your team idea? That's a lot easier. Okay. Let's go.
Number 1. What is Flobo's go-to snack food?
Oh, it changes now because I had to change my diet because your boy was getting kind of thick in the caboose. So now it's like meat snacks, like jerky and stuff like that. But if I ever have a choice to like do whatever, I just love soft baked cookies, like the ones you get from the bakery, like the big ones. I'll eat those all day. Ralph's makes ones with M&Ms in it, and yeah, it's a wrap. Every time I see it, it's like, oh man, it's 4 for $6, and I still buy it. Like, I know it's a bad deal, but it's like, yeah. So that's it. Cookies, yeah.
Cookies. But I thought you were gonna say donuts. I'm surprised.
I kind of fell off of donuts for a bit.
Okay. Number 2. What is one childhood toy that you can remember that you liked?
I actually know the answer to this one, and I rediscovered it in the day of our date. So we were for those of you who don't know, I took James out to well, it's not a tiki bar, but it's a
they call it, it's kind of like a tiki bar.
Yeah, it's like a Miami lounge thing, a Havana thing called Gin Rummy in Venice, and they had pinball machines. And so James was going nuts, and I was like, yeah, I remember pinball being my thing when I was a kid. And I looked it up. Because in the late 80s, early 90s, the crash test dummies were like a big thing. I don't know if you remember that. They had their own commercials, they had their own Saturday morning cartoon. The crash test dummies had like a portable kid version of a pinball machine. And that was my toy. I played it all the time. I looked it up on eBay. It's $100 now. I was so close to buying it. That was the number 1 thing for me that no one remembers, but I remember so many hours going.
Well, you know what's so funny? When I was in San Francisco recently, one of my best friends, Renee, they actually have competitive pinball in San Francisco. Oof. And I didn't have time to do it, but he's challenged me to a duo because he's like, if I remember correctly, James, you're really into pinball. I am into pinball. And Flobo saw it. I'm into pinball. And I had a big high score. I was having a good time.
Man was a machine.
I broke the machine. I love pinball. And so he's like, oh, really? You gonna beat me? And I was like, yeah, I can beat you. I'm not worried about you people. So
Mhm.
one day it'll be filmed, I'm sure. I go to San Francisco and I have a chance to go play. We're gonna play. So
We gotta talk about that date though, because I'd never thought of it as a date, but now I think about where we went all in one day. I was like, you know
you
what?
actually, so what you said to me,
We
I am
could have
a
been a date.
pinball wizard. Yes, exactly.
Mhm.
Can you hear me? Feel me? No. You said it once because I go, God, I said, I haven't had any good dates. You go, yes, you have. It's totally Flobo. And I go, oh yeah. I said that was, I mean, because it was kind of you picked me up. We got dressed. I know where we're going. Flobo planned the whole day.
Yeah.
We got different stops and everything. It was something that I could like. It was related to me. It was very different. Two places I'd never been before. We had good food. He was generous to me and kind. We had good. I mean, it really was. So I look back, I go, and I said to you, I go, I'm gonna count that as a date. So we just as a date, Scott. So I'm gonna count that. I mean, we didn't have sex or make out or anything like that yet. But I said that. I said this. So I'm gonna count. But if I really am like honest about it, it was okay. It was a man date. We had a man date or a
Oh
guy
yeah.
date. I'm like, so I can't say. I really can't say I haven't had a good date in the last 4 years because I mean, literally you gave me a good date the last 4 years. We went to a
Well,
chocolatier place. All the stuff I'd never done before in my life, all around Los Angeles. And there was no really time crunch. I was like, well, as long as you want to do it, I'm here, like whatever.
yeah.
And I didn't know anything. I let you do it. I let you take care of it, which is which again is what I use. As you can tell, it's what I want. It's someone to take over sometimes.
Yeah. It was great. Because I was like, where are you going? Don't worry about it.
Yes, we said. But you
Like,
said it. One time after you go, no, James, you were on a date. I'm like, me. I'm like, who? You're like, me. I'm like, oh yeah. You actually
I,
brought it up.
I can't do that with women though. I'm always like, is this okay? Please tell me. Give me a list. Give me a top three. But dudes are like, don't worry, I'm gonna pick you up.
Yeah, a handsome black man. I'm like, oh, that was my dream.
So dumb.
I love it.
Yes, sorry, I'm moving your list. Okay.
No, I love it. I'm saying, but anyway, pinball. But anyway, so no, so I did have a good date the last 4 years. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Number three. We're number three. Okay. Yes. Number three. Number three. What is one thing the Americans should know about Barbados?
Oh, snap. Camouflage is banned. So if you have camouflage underwear or camouflage shirts, or they will take it off at the airport when you land. And they will confiscate it. Just because in the 80s there were a lot of hunters and stuff in like Guatemala and Guyana and Grenada and things like that. So those are banned, and it's not a weed friendly country too. But that's not really cool. I would say my parents are from St. Lucie, which is the most northern parish, and it is for Bajans like far. Like no one goes out to St. Lucie. My parents are from there, but they have something called the Animal Flower Cave. And if you ever time to go visit, it's a cool place to see actual live coral because it's a coral island and interact with the plants out there. But no camouflage. That's totally
I
against the
didn't know
law.
that. Funny. I know I knew that.
Uh,
Sure, I've never been to the Pinball Museum, but I've heard of it. I do want to go there.
oh, I wrote that down. I've been to Vegas a bunch of times. I gotta check it out.
And secondly, a place you should go to if you're in St. Thomas, they have a butterfly sanctuary, and I love it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Very, very calming. Very
And a
calming.
monkey preserve and Farley Hill.
Yeah, so it's very calming. So, but I love Barbados. Had a good time. I went to the beach. Had a good time. Okay, number four. Okay, number four. Number four. What is one thing?
Uh-oh.
Because of course, they ask about me.
No, I know this. I know.
You know this.
Okay.
No, you think you know it. You don't know.
Mhm.
What is one thing that you don't have? It could be personality or whatever that I have that you would like to have.
You own your house. You have a house. The hell you asking me? I live in a shoebox in West LA. Let's go with a house. It's asking me what's something that I have. I swear to God, I hate you. No,
You have a now you have a what's I hate you have an air conditioner now. Shit.
I do. Shout out to
That's impressive.
It's the glow up.
Now it's not hot anymore, but other doesn't matter. But
It's gonna come back, brother. No, I will say this. I joke about it, but a full head of hair. I mean, you know what I mean? Like I like this.
In all seriousness, we always talk about it. But would you really want hair at this age?
You know, my thing is I've been bald since I was 20, 22, 21, 20. Well, 24 is when I gave up, but I was bald in 21. I'm okay with having nothing on my head, but the thing I want to change is not have like the hairline stop there and you can see it, the Bozo the Clown thing. So if I had a full head of hair and I shaved it, it'd be fine. You know,
All right. I never thought that. Okay, right. Okay, yeah.
but I don't. So it looks like I look like a substitute teacher. So
You have a nice name, Chad. About that.
well, go. It's a peanut, but go on.
That's fine. But it's so funny that we do talk about that. But I'm like, you really, I'm like, now I get what you're saying. Now I get that actually makes sense. Flobo, we'll ask you that question after this.
Okay. Okay, how many questions are there? 10 questions?
It's five, but we keep digressing. But as far as a question for you, but we're gonna do that after that.
Okay.
The fifth question is the question I ask every single person. I've asked over 300 times, from famous people to nobodies. Flobo's a nobody. Here is the question, Flobo. You gotta pick one or the other. You can't no ands, no together.
This or that.
Apples or oranges?
Apples. Get out of here. I love my citrus, but apple juice, apple cider, apple pie. If oranges didn't exist for apples to exist, I'm picking apples every time.
I like that answer.
Not even debate. I don't know why. That wasn't even hard at all. I'll go back to you having a house, asking me what I want, which a land ownership in your garden, backyard, stupid ass.
Land ownership. Oh my God. I'm not in this. I'm not in Clinton. Okay. So Flo answered the 5 random questions updated, so we updated that. I'll have to look back and see if he did before on time ago. But Flobo, have you tried? This is funny because I went to the crumble cookies by his house. Have you tried crumble cookies?
I have. I told you about it when they moved in there.
They're asking you, not me.
Because the crumble cookies used to be a GNC nutrition. So I walked in one time and I was like, "Where's the supplements?" Sorry, they sell cookies.
Supplements. Well, I know what Steve was asking. So I was like,
I like crumble. I like cookies. I like salty cookies. Crumble cookies are way too rich. They're almost like super raw. So my dumb ass went and bought 4 at one time, and I was like dying. I was like, oh, I think I got the diabetes going through it. So I don't say I hate them, but it's a very rare instance I'll go get those cookies for sure.
Yeah, they're and because so what's funny is a friend of mine went there and posted today on his reels. His first time I crumble cookies, he's like, I got 4 of them, and they're each like 600 calories. So it's like, he goes, I don't know folks who eat all 4 in one sitting. He goes, I don't know how you do that. He goes, I just take a bite of each one. He can't, and I had 2. I couldn't eat all 4 in one sitting. I couldn't. I just couldn't do it.
Oh yeah, it's like super dense. It's like, oh my God, I think I'm gonna die.
Now this show says cookies are good for dopamine, so therefore they're a health food.
Oh, thank you. Tell that to my doctor.
That's not true, but thank you. I mean, it's not a health food. That part's not true, clearly.
I mean, yeah, I mean, cookies are hot. Sometimes I'm like, man, what a rough day. I'm getting cookies. And I like that too. And I know Sprinkles cupcakes, they have Cuban coffee. I have to go get some of that because that's my favorite flavor of all time. But yeah, cookies every time, man. It's great.
My I guess my favorite thing would be cupcakes and then donuts and then cookies. I like cookies, but they're like my third on the list of
Donuts
that
are cool.
of food.
Donuts will be everlasting, but I think like there's times I'm like donuts, and there's times I'm like, I'm like, oh, here right now.
I get that too. Well, I totally get that. I get burnt out. I get burnt out from donuts. Yeah, that's coming. But yeah, crumble cookies, they're okay. They have a couple of there's Tony JC. Here's just show up to hear Flobo say he's okay with nothing on his head.
I'm just letting you know. Like again, I remember the time I shaved my head off. I was like, forget it. But I had cornrows. I had an afro. My high school yearbook picture was me in an afro. Like it is majestic that the height I had when I was 17. You know what I mean?
Said majestic. I know. I love it. I know. I get it. I was like, get it, girl. I get it, Flobo.
My mom says girl too. She goes, girl. I'm like, girl. Mama.
He's like, you're like, girl. But yes, you missed so many opportunities to comment on. And so like, Tony, you're a little late, Tony.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of, it's mooncake season. I know you're not part Asian, but you have Asian influence. So it's mid autumn festival time. I'm not sure if you're into mooncakes. Those are pretty cool.
We that's what's so funny. We love mooncakes, and they're starting to show up everywhere. So I still say I am part Asian. I just say I am just to shorten everything. So I grew up with the almond cakes and all the different Japanese and Chinese holidays and times of year. I grew up with all that. I literally had these 2 people who were my second parents who I went through. I was their first kid before they had kids. So I mean, they literally raised me since I was a baby, co-raised me. So and made my godmother Wendy living up in heaven. But yeah, it's very much mooncakes. I love those. Those. I mean, I don't eat them very. I mean, I don't know if I eat one this season, but yes, I do like them.
Yeah.
A lot of Asian traditions I do know about, actually. I do practice.
Yeah.
I do practice.
Oh, you practice? Okay. So
I mean, because they're still part of my family, so they'll send me the red envelopes, which I have one back here somewhere.
oh yeah, I would love to practice getting rid of envelopes. Yeah, everyone's practice that, but like what?
But I'm going. But I have gone to the family get-togethers for certain holidays, and
Okay.
certain remembrances, and certain things, and eat traditional food.
Uh,
Not the
so
Chinese food from fucking what do you call it, Panda Express, like
no.
like real Chinese food. I mean, I grew up eating pigeon and and abalone. I mean, there's certain things I ate growing up because they cooked it.
So it's Matt Litchfield actually says, I don't know if you see this right here. What's do you do the duck egg with the mooncake or 1, 2, 3 or 0?
I've had it before with it. I mean, I
No, but
don't
I'm saying, do you prefer a certain
I
amount?
prefer. I don't have a preference. I mean, either one is fine.
So I'll tell this to Matt, like I can't do the duck egg at all. Like to me, because it tastes very, not to be funny, it tastes very
Yeah,
foully.
fine.
I'll ask for the ones without duck eggs. I say try that. I think it with the flaky layers and all that stuff, it's way better than having with duck egg. But maybe because I'm just an American and not Asian.
Yeah.
But
No, I mean,
for sure.
I don't have a preference or dislike. I grew up with just both. I mean, I just having it with or without. So,
Yeah,
but it's an acquired. But like anything, any type of cultural food it's very much acquired taste for some people. I think
yeah, yeah.
some people are easy to eat anything. They're like, I eat anything, it's fine. For other people, it can be Italian can be acquired taste. This can be acquired taste. Mexican can be. I mean, it's all can be acquired taste.
It's funny because like because we grew up in Brooklyn, right? Like I noticed enough of the food aspect more than any other aspect of culture, like hamantaschen for Purim and all that stuff. But I got into mooncakes by accident because there's actually a mooncake emoji, which Kirsten actually posted in the chat. I was going to say moon, and mooncake came up, and I was like, "What the hell is this?" Like last year, and buddies were like, "Oh, you never had mooncake?" And I just been like, "Long, long, long." All my Asian friends are holding it out of me, blah 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 blah. So I will say I got into it by accident, but I love it. I love it with no eggs as well. So
And so, but I grew up, I grew up with, dumplings and ramen, all that stuff that before was popular in America, like before it became really popular. I grew up with all that stuff. It was just food, like literally just presented as food. My godmother could cook the fuck out of shit. She was so good, but she also could fry chicken. So she fried. I mean, so that was always offered on the table too, along with her ambrosia salad was my favorite. Ambrosia salad was my favorite. Oh, I love ambrosia salad. And that was something we grew up with. And I'm talking the 70s and 80s, of course. So I don't have to make that shit anymore. There's a mooncake emoji. Oh, funny. We literally, I grew up with, I mean, they made American food, but they owned Chinese restaurants here in LA.
yeah.
So we went through the back doors. Right?
Well, if they're Chinese, man, of course they made the fried chicken on point.
Oh
But
my
like
God, the best.
growing up, half fried chicken, pork fried rice, or chicken wings and French fries. I mean, come on.
Here's the thing, kids. I'm gonna make a take. I'm standing by it. I know we have some New Yorkers in the house and Flobo Boyce up there. I'm gonna say it. I mean, and I've had Chinese food in Los Angeles. I've had Chinese food in Chinatown in San Francisco. I've had Chinese food in Chicago. I've had Chinese food in New York. And I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it, Flobo. The best Chinese food is from New York.
Hey.
Seriously.
I get homesick for Chinese pizza. I'm okay with, but I'll get homesick for Chinese food from New
Same
York.
here. Pizza, I'm okay with.
Yeah.
Trust me, some good pizza in New York too.
It's messed up. I'll miss that before my family.
Same here. Oh my God, same here. Well, they closed one restaurant down in Chinatown. I'm like, I'll get back right now.
It's weird because it's actually more authentic in California,
yeah,
but it's not
right.
nearly as good. Yeah.
I'm telling you, having one of our traditions in my family was that, and it's also a big Jewish tradition, a big tradition in New York. You have Chinese food on Christmas Eve. Mm-hmm. That was our big thing. Chinese food on Christmas Eve. We order it. It comes. It's just I don't know what I mean. Maybe it's the MSG. I don't give a fuck. I don't know the Hudson River. I don't give a fuck. It's so good. Like it's a different taste. But you're right. I've had more authentic from my Chinese godmother here in Los Angeles, and it was good. I won't get in trouble. It was good.
It's good.
But I'm saying in New York, even in San Francisco, I used to work in Chinatown. It was good.
It was good.
New York. I'm pointing this way. I don't know where New York is. New York is
Yeah.
that way, that way. I don't know. New York's that way.
I don't
That's
know
the
which
ocean.
one.
New York's that way. It's over there. It is
It-
the 2016
no,
facts.
basically, where your house is shaped, it'd be to your left arm. In New York, it's to your left arm.
Oh, well, either way. Well, however, no, I mean, yes. But yes, have you ever mailed it? Are you making fun of me? So,
Oh,
folks,
you mailed one?
you know the story. My mother, she always wants whatever I have. She just can't help herself. So I was in New York one time, and she was like, "I want a pretzel." I mean, the pretzels on the street from the vendor, the giant pretzels with salt and mustard. Mm. Well, they wanted one. So I said, okay, if I put it in plastic and overnight it, would it work? So we tried it. I put it in plastic, got all the air out of it, tied it up, put it in, but set it overnight. It didn't work.
Yeah. It's
It didn't work. So when we tried though, she goes, it had parts of the flavor I wanted, but obviously the consistency was very different.
Yeah,
We tried it. It did for morning delivery, the whole thing. I said, if I had some dry ice, but it didn't work. It didn't work. So that's what Matt's making fun of me because I tell that story how I've emailed a New York pretzel to Los Angeles.
That's crazy.
It didn't work.
Cheesecake I've done.
What?
I've done cheesecake, but not a pretzel.
Oh well, yeah, well, that we've done it too. But I'll tell you again. I don't care. I don't know if I got dysentery or whatever. I have no idea. But I'm telling you, the hot dogs on the street of the bomb, the pretzel on the street of the bomb. I'm telling you, them hot dogs. Oh my! I've come out of a club, Flobo, and I'm like, that shit smells so good. I'm like, I don't care. I've done it, and I'm like, I'm probably licking the ground while I'm eating it. Who knows? It was good.
Yeah, hot dogs
Dirty
are
water.
my thing.
That's
man.
right, Tony JC. The cart with dirty water. That's right. They're dipping the shit in there. And you're like shaking it off.
Yeah, hot dogs are my thing. It was a breakfast food growing up, so I kind of avoided them. But I will say, going to baseball games, they're super cheap. So sometimes I go out to cities and I'm like broke, I'll get a hot dog for $4 or $5. But they're my favorite.
He's like putting big stuff in his mouth.
Oh, I do burgers, two hands. You gotta use both hands when you around your mouth. You don't use one. You're gonna be like, you know what I'm saying? But I can't do hot dogs though. Can't.
Yeah.
Hey, is there any more games for me? Because that's what I want. I want more games. Any more games?
Like big things in my mouth too.
Excuse me.
Well, we're talking about food right now. So you have fun. We're doing. We might have another game. Give me a second.
Don't be lying to me.
I could be lying to you too. Who knows? Now back on it. So the Filipino tradition is to have long noodles for holidays, have a long life. I think I've heard that.
Filipino food. That's.
I love me too. She knows that too. I love me some Filipino food.
They're the West Indians of Asia, man. That's straight up.
But the black food's Asia.
I mean, yeah, no, they're West Indians. Because I'll tell you why. Because we have rhythm more than the American black people. There, I said it. Reggae and soca is one thing, and two, we are totally prone to diabetes, way more than the American black people. Like diabetes is our natural killer. I think I haven't been to the Philippines, but I bet everyone has diabetes over there too. So that's what I think.
That's just hard take, folks.
Hard take.
Everybody in Filipino, let's cut that section out. He thinks everybody in Filipino.
I didn't say everybody. I'm just saying, I'm looking at the rice. I'm looking at the meat. I'm looking at how things are fried. I don't ever been to the Philippines, but I bet diabetes is pretty much rampant because we have the same foods.
Doc Daisy Flowers said, I love how I was young and can't stand them
and I'll go one further. In the Philippines, there's a cultural thing called the balikbayan, where you're supposed to put a box every year and send it back to the Philippines. We have the same thing. It's called the barrel. Every year you fill a barrel up and you ship it out to your family in the West Indies, and they gotta go, oh great, a microwave and linens and things.
They do that in Africa too.
Hey. Did I talk about Africa? We don't talk about Africa right now. What about the West Indies?
The problem is, folks, I'm West Indian, I'm American black, I'm all these different things. So I'm like, I'm screwed. No. What's the handmade? She's on the flags. I love it. I know. No, I get it. And like my mother, I said I didn't grow up with Spam, all that kind of stuff. My mother did. I didn't grow up with that stuff. So like, I don't eat it. I don't eat it. We were poor, not that poor. No.
Wow.
I need that. So I'm like, you couldn't pay me to eat Spam or something like that.
Yeah, I learned what treat was hanging with you the other day.
Oh yeah, treats. Yes. But I do like Vienna sausages. You know that.
Vienna sausages are good. I can't do canned corned beef. I tell you that a bunch of times. Like that to me,
I can do it.
It's a staple for everyone, but
Yeah.
that to me was week 3. We haven't gone to the grocery store. All we have is some rice and some corned beef. That's dinner. Blah.
They are God for most of life. Barrels were a part of my life. But I'm
See,
saying
she gets it.
I get it. Do I get it too? No, I get it. I know. I know a lot of it through my friends who married Africans. So it's always a thing. You fill it up with sneakers and shit, and you send it all back to Africa to the family.
And then hopefully you know somebody at the customs port because they'll rip into your barrel until half your shit.
Anybody says I'm about to try maple spam.
Why would I want it sweeter? That's kind of weird. I mean, hey, it may slap, but to me, it doesn't sound appetizing.
How about Scrapple? I didn't grow up with that either. So
Scrapple is more of a Pennsylvania thing. You gotta ask Steve Coffin about that.
I know about it from Pittsburgh. But I never.
Yeah, that's a Pennsylvania. That's what I just said.
I was just reiterating that I lived in Pittsburgh, so I didn't eat that.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm a pastrami guy. I love pastrami. I'm not a cheesesteak. I'm not a Philly cheesesteak guy.
That's different. Pastrami is the actual meat. Scrapple is like it's like.
I'm just naming meats that I like. Meats I don't like.
But Scrapple's what's the word? Constituted meat. It's a conglomeration of meat.
Dave Flowers used to make it.
Let's go, Jamrock. What part? Are you from like Portmore or Spanish Town or Kingston? Well, your people. I'm not sure where you're from, but let us know.
He's from Brooklyn.
No, I know she's from Brooklyn, but you got people in certain places.
What counts.
I'm just putting it out there.
No, she was today. Spam Vienna sausage is a staple in my house, but this white girl don't eat it. You don't eat it. That's so funny.
I will say this. I tell James all the time. There's certain poor foods that I still love, and there's certain poor foods I can't touch anymore. Like canned corned beef, potato bread.
Can't do bologna anymore.
Bologna is one that I can't do as much anymore. Even though the smell of bologna takes me back. Yeah, Oscar Mayer, yeah. But Vienna sausages I love. All my milk is evaporated milk, which is kind of weird to most people, but that's what I grew up on. Like, just the way it is, man. Canned milk.
Canned milk. We've always had it in our house. We didn't. But see, I grew up with powdered milk. I want to tell that story. So I just say my mom was from St. Elizabeth.
Let's go. That's a cultural city. What's up? Listen, Elizabeth. Sorry, one of my minors in college was Latin American and Caribbean history. So
I mean, it turns me on, so that's fine. I love that you're one of the reasons why I'm friends with Flobo is because he reminds me of my family in the Caribbean. So that's why I was one of the reasons why I'm friends with him.
For better or worse.
I know it's mostly worse. Dad's Kingston.
All right, that's what's up, man. Kingston is actually like they have the University of West Indies campus there. The main one, I think, is out there in Kingston, right?
I can't go to Jamaica because they'll kill me. So
I mean, most of America will kill you too, but that's not.
No, I mean, seriously. I'm not even saying that flippantly. Because I have a lot of friends who go to Jamaica all the time, and if there was any sign of gayness, they've had problems. Right. But it's funny because I've met Jamaicans who come to America who have no problem with gay people. I've no problem with them. Yeah. But there, I just heard from many different types of people who've gone there told me, don't go there, James, because if they suspect or anything, you'd be in trouble. In those big cities, you'd be in trouble.
My thing is, as someone who's like lightly traveled the globe, if things are dangerous, bring a friend. And if it's too dangerous, don't go. But at the same time, why roll the dice? Why be scared off, right? You're who you are. You got the money.
I'm good. I'm going to live. I'm good. I'm not going there.
Hey, I went to the Middle East. They didn't kill me. I got some stairs, though.
It was like, but I'm a fearless guy mostly. I've been to third world Caribbean countries and stuff, and I've been fine. But I'm just saying, true, James. I know. I'm saying people have told me this over the years because my godson's half Jamaican, and I know his family and stuff. They just told me they don't come here. Like they're fine with me. They like me and everything, but they're like, nope. And I had friends who've gone who again, they're like, we were on the beach just sitting next to each other, and I think I gave them a kiss on the cheek, and people were already surrounding us. So I'm like, nope, I don't want to even attempt that at all. And I've been to some third world countries. They were rough. Really? But oh yeah, oh my god,
why?
I mean, so part of the trip where I was really curious about it. I was like, I want to go see. I always have wanted to go somewhere that was truly poor, because I know it's all relative. You say you grew up poor, I said I grew up poor, and we did. In American standards, we did. But there are levels of poor of that too, right? So I mean, I lived in a house once that there was a dirt floor, so I do know what that feels. I know what that feels like. And roaches are everywhere, so I know what that feels like. But I was like, I wanted to go somewhere, but I really do want. I'm just something I wanted. I wanted to go somewhere and really see how poor it really is. And I'm not going to name any names, right? Because I don't want people to start. I don't want to get that started. But I went to a couple places that were really poor. Yeah. And I got a really eye-opening experience, and I thought and I'm glad I went.
So okay, so again, don't tell me where you went, but was it a situation where you left home going like, I want to see how other half lives, or were you like part of like a bigger itinerary and go, hey, that's a cool thing to add on. Let me see.
Nope, I went because my whole kind of adult life was to go to all the islands in the Caribbean, especially, and do some stuff in Central America
Sure,
and
sure,
South
sure.
America. I've done South America. I've done Central. I haven't done South yet. But going to so I went to a couple islands in the Caribbean that were very very poor,
Hmm.
and that was because I wanted to go there. No, it was a deliberate decision.
Okay, that's also enough. It was like a thing where it's like, oh, this is not what I expected, or like, no, I'm leaving to see.
No, and most of the time it's do Miami or do Florida. So my fun time was in Florida. I mean, so I guess in a weird way to answer your question, it was part of a larger itinerary, but it wasn't. It was just like you have to fly through. You usually have to fly through Florida to go anywhere or New
Yeah,
York.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, so a lot of times I go to Florida, make sure I stay there for a few days and get my little fun on South Beach, and then go the other half live. Oh, I love South Beach. Oh my god, I love South. I miss it so. I want Puerto Tropical. I miss my South Beach. I miss it. Miss it. I miss my Art Deco architecture, the Skippy outfits, the blue water. I miss all that at some points. I do want to go, but no. But I know it was deliberate. I remember. I can tell you, there's times when I'm focused on something, I follow through. I mean, I have to follow through.
Yeah, absolutely. I hear you.
Yeah, so but I'm glad I went. I saw what poverty can really look like. That's less than ours.
Right. There's different flavors of poverty. Even
So I'm saying, no, I'm
yeah.
saying when we say we were poor, we
Right.
were in our respective places and where we were poor. But
I,
I've seen some shit that I'm like, that's poor.
no, for sure. Like, it's funny because like in the South, like you can have your own house, have land, have a car, and still be poor. And that was the first thing I had to learn when I moved down there. Like, oh wow, poor is a relative. It changed for everyone else in the lives.
Well, except for us, we got the government cheese and the government all that stuff growing up. And I was like I didn't realize how poor we were until I was like, oh, we really are kind of like living on the edge. And the whole, the red notices from bills back in the day. They have these certain notices like you knew they were really behind, that stuff. I'm like, oh, okay. And my father working 3 jobs, my grandmother working 3 jobs. Like it was like, wow. And then my own self, just being an adult in San Francisco, working 3 or 4 jobs because I had kids to feed and I had a place to live. Like this is really crazy. And like San Francisco really woke me up. It said, James, you can't play in San Francisco. You just can't. You just can't. I mean, if you don't have something set up, you will be on the streets. And I was on the streets for a couple of weeks, so I do know what that feels like. And then if I
Mhm.
was just the same thing, I'm used to the New York homeless, but LA homeless is different. I couldn't believe that people live beneath underpasses. They do.
I think that's the operative word. Like, I mean, I grew up with the Giuliani sweep, so like you'd be homeless, but every 3 days you had to move. But like coming to LA and there's people like have camping gear, and that's where it's posted up. Like, yep, I'm in Skid Row. Check me out. You're like, oh, for real. This is like a real problem, you know?
I know. So I do know what it feels like to be homeless. So it was a couple of weeks, but that was the hardest 2 weeks of my life. And I was like, I will never do that again if I can help it. And I learned that. It's like I found out that we're all one thing away from homelessness.
Yeah, I can't. I won't say I was homeless, but I think traveling and my itineraries are break down sometimes. I think that one of the hardest things I realized when you have nowhere to go during a day is that no one lets you sleep, and showers are hard to come by, and that is just the way our
Well, that's part
society
of
is
it.
set up.
So you do know a little bit about because I know some of your trips that's kind of happened. So you know how that is. So you do know how I feel like, but you keep moving. You got to keep moving. You got to keep moving. You got to keep
Gotta
moving.
keep moving. There's like day and a half, like this, because one day I'm in one town and my next train or whatever's the next day. So like I'm walking around town with no place to live. It's hot. I smell like what? I can't shower nowhere. I can't sit nowhere. It's like you gotta keep moving. It's rough, man. It really is. But that was only a day and a half, so I can never say I know how it feels. But I also know that we are not kind to people that have nowhere to go.
No, we're not. We're not. I try to be. I try. I know. I mean, it was funny, and not to get super serious, but one of my guests on one of my shows at AfterBuzz TV, he said something once. He was like, one day I was driving, and it was here in LA traffic. It was like middle of rush hour, and this homeless guy decides to walk across the street slowly and made all of us stop. They say, you know what I learned? He goes like, that homeless guy probably feels invisible all day, and he was like, I'm gonna make you see me. I have nowhere to go really. So I'm gonna make you. I don't care if I'm fucking up your life. And it was
Hmm.
like it changed his whole perspective on being homeless. Because like you just said it basically. Many times you just walk by them, don't look at them, don't say nothing, and we have no idea what their story is. We have no idea what they're doing.
Oh yeah.
But the fact that he goes, and I'm sitting there, I'm in my car with air conditioning, about to go out to eat with my friends, and I'm sitting there going, "What?" I'm gonna get upset at some homeless guy crossing the street. That's not the lights. He's just crossing the street. What the fuck? It's like
Yeah.
he's going across the other side of the street to do what? Nothing. So it's like, and so he said, changed my outlook on that. It made me kind of go, wow, that's actually a really powerful perspective.
Hmm. One of the crazy things I learned about people and their tolerance of homelessness, and I think I told you this a bunch of times in real life, but when I was running for office, which I came in last place for, is that people really hate or have contempt for homeless people. They'll go to these neighbor council meetings. They're like, "We need to get rid of this filth and throw them out on the street." And not say I get it, but we think of the worst kind of homeless people. We think about homeless people, but in Los Angeles, the largest section of homeless people are battered wives and girlfriends, and so we can't just think of everyone as being these depraved like rule breakers who don't want jobs. Where most times it's someone who left a relationship who's living in their car in a parking lot of a gym so they can shower. You know what I mean? It's a weird kind of thing about compassion, but I won't get into it now. I want a game, damn it.
I do know folks who have. I've seen them on YouTube, and they like who decide I'm going to live in my car. It's
There's
too
that
expensive.
too.
And I see that's what I say. It's too expensive, and I'm going to watch them. Like, oh my! And they show you how they figure it out. Like I said, gym membership, go take a shower, about like they figure it out. I'm
Yeah.
like, that's scary to me. That's scary too. And I had one guy I was following. He moved to Europe now. He's in Europe. And I don't know what he's doing now, but he was his whole journey across the country. He was like, I'm just gonna be homeless. It's cheaper because I have a job. He goes, I go to my job, everything. I just sleep in my car.
Yeah. This is why in LA we say unhoused because the majority of
Yes,
homeless people live in their cars. That's just,
yes.
or their bus or
Or
Winnebago or whatever.
RVs or whatever. Yeah, no, there's that. You're right. It's yes, unhoused. And where my brother JR works out in Carson, out in Torrance, that area, there's a whole section out there. It's industrial, but there's all these streets filled with these broken down RVs. It's a
Mhm.
trip to see it. They're like, oh, so they're all living in there. Whether it's working or not, they're living in them.
Right.
So that's kind of thing. So, and yeah, this, right, everybody's living from paycheck to paycheck. Flo and I live from gig to gig. I mean, I don't even have paychecks. I mean, we live from gig to gig.
Hmm.
I don't mind. It's a choice. This is what I do. It's a choice.
Life
Um,
we chose, but it's not easy,
so it's
right?
not easy, but I know I chose it. I mean, I'm just saying I left a high powered job in San Francisco. Business out business now, but I left a high powered to do this kind of work where it's gig to gig, and that's it. I mean, I'm not even paycheck to paycheck. I mean, I literally, and I don't have any credit cards, no credit like that. I got rid of all of them, so I have to live off of whatever I can make today or tomorrow.
Yeah.
There's a lot of us out here are in those cities that are doing the acting thing, musician thing, the artist thing. A lot of us are that. We live gig to gig, and that's it, kids. I mean, so I get it, but it's tough, and I'm always shocked by certain people that I know. I'm not going to out them. They'll say their disdain for the homeless. I'm like, but nobody likes it. But it's like some of these people, we just don't know what their stories are. We just
Right.
don't know what their stories are. And I'm telling you, these medical bills and shit that happen. Like I said, just one medical bill, your wife. My stepfather, I'm just really briefly, when he first had to be at last year before he died, we had to call an ambulance to him to the hospital. The ambulance ride alone, which went what 2 miles, maybe at the most to Sentinella, 2 miles, $50,000.
Hmm.
If he had had insurance, we got the bill, it was like $5. The bill was like $5. He had good insurance. Well, yeah, I hate Kaiser. He had insurance. But it was just like $50,000 to save your life. If you don't have that, what are you gonna do? And
Yeah.
so I know folks that's it. They stay in the hospital 1 day or 2 days. $250,000. That's it. And
Yeah.
that's their portion. So it's like this. It's crazy how this is in America. And I'm not gonna get to a whole thing about that, but just kind of like I just say we're all a spot or two away from that.
Absolutely.
It can totally happen. So I have my whole let my hair down. Like I shaved the sides today, so my this is the hair that Flo doesn't have. You know that thick hair, Flobo. It's so long. Oops, it's all wet. It's all wet. Um, But no, toot. Hey, BB, that's funny. But yeah, no, it's just one of those things.
Yeah.
I don't want to end the show on a sad note.
Okay.
Let's say something really quick, something big and happy.
All right. Well, I got nothing. Happy. Ugh.
Happy. Flo was never happy.
Nope.
He's like,
Give
nope.
me a game. Give me a game. Game.
I know. I meant to do more games. I got busy today. I'm gonna do more games for you. So next time you come on, we'll do a game.
That's some bullshit. You said
I know.
I want to have you on games plural. I got one, and you're
that.
like, I'm tired. I'm bored. I can't.
I just said, no, he's right. I said it. I'm totally admitting I did say all that, and it didn't happen. That's life.
Tony JC, if you have any questions for me, let's do that. Let's have a game with your questions.
Good question, Tony JC. Let's end on a good note.
Probably does. I have no more good notes in me. I'm an old crabby man. Not as crabby as Frank Moran, but pretty crabby.
We love Frank Moran.
We love how curmudgeonly.
All TV is good. That statement, girl. Come on,
the show should be back. Yeah. Well, when I was going to school, that was kind of cool to be like, oh wow, coming from class, your homework, watch New Smallville or whatever.
Smallville. That show's on me here.
No, I know it's not because I'm an old man. I'm just saying the fall shows were. I don't know. When I think of fall show, I think of Smallville because it was always like in cornfields and shit.
That's so funny. That's funny. You're just all by everybody.
I'm out.
All by.
She's already done.
She's already done. I'm not going on a good note. I'm trying to end on a good note, like something. I like. I'm just letting my hair down now. It feels good. I have to be up so early in the morning, you guys. I have to get up at like 6.
Oh wow! How you manage?
I was up at 4:30. I was up at 4:30 this morning, Flobo.
Okay, that's not what you said though. Like tomorrow, I'm thinking about 6. Oh, in my house with my long hair in my own bedroom. Oh.
No, wait a minute. You got your own bedroom. You can't say that. You got your own bedroom. You're not living in the studio.
It's actually a bedroom-sized office.
See, but you're not in a studio apartment, so you're lucky there.
I'm just saying, yeah, because rent control is real, but at the same time, they're kicking me out tomorrow if they wanted to.
Yes, a happy thought. I could have watched Agatha all along, but I chose to watch James and Flobo.
You messed up, Matt. That show was dope, I heard. You could have done that and come back to us later. What do you think? No, I'm just kidding.
They're apparently the Penguins took the big hit, so I guess that's a huge hit.
No idea. Well, I guess there's nothing positive going on, so I guess we just end it now.
That's to say, this is like life, kids. This is what life isn't fair. But I'll not say I'm positive. My professional life is going very well, so I'll end on that. Stuff's coming.
Wow, fuck me. I'm doing great. Goodbye, everybody. What the heck?
That'd be a good ending too, but that's another story.
Wow.
He's like, I'm telling you something. I'm like, I think you said you had nothing. So
my life has been pretty shitty, but I'm here with you guys, having a good time.
Well, thank you, Flobito, for being on my show today. And so what is Drifting Gold coming back? What's going on?
We don't know until next week. So they're moving NXT to CW. We're gonna see if you can get the East Coast feed. If so, then yeah. If not, then there'll be no way for us to do it. So we kind of had a season series finale this week on Draped in Gold. But if you want to follow me right now, I got the sports blog. It's called justasandwich.com. I write about sports culture with a little bit of comedy. Check it out, justasandwich.com. Subscribe. It's free. You get articles right to your email box.
It's Flobo is eye candy.
Sometimes I gotta go to the barber tomorrow. Get my line up. It's been a while.
Hey, that's good. See, I'm a black man with a lined up beard. I'm all in.
I thought about shaving it, but I just couldn't do it. Couldn't bring it to myself to do it.
Don't do it.
Oh wow. Okay.
Don't do it. Let the professionals handle it.
No, I mean shaving it off. I don't mean like shaving.
You don't do that either.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, just saying. It's been 6 years with the beard. I don't know.
Do you really think are you just ready to shave it off?
Just because it's an expense, you know what I'm saying? To go get it done.
Oh, got it. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
I'll pay for your beard trim.
No, but I realize you got to invest in yourself at some point. So it's a look. He's like, I'll do it.
Don't worry. I'll take care of that part. So
I've seen you without your beard. Let me just make sure.
Yeah, my God, I love it. Everybody, have a good weekend. Sign up for the soap Zoom. The soap Zoom. Happy hour Zoom. Tony JC, you're already signed up. So I'll see you. Matt, you're already signed up. Lady Flower, are you coming this Friday? You're not signed up. I don't know if you come this Friday. Kayla, our girl Kayla, who may be watching. Hi, Kayla. She signed up for Friday, so she's gonna come.
What's up, Kayla?
So we have a good time. 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern, 9 Central.
That's wrong. Central's before Eastern.
Shit, so how do I say it?
You said
5%. No, I'm saying, how do I say that? 5 Pacific,
5 Pacific, 8
9
Eastern.
All
5
right.
Pacific, 8 Eastern,
7
7 Central. You just screwing over half the country. Like, hey, what time is it? I don't know, bro.
You know what time it is, folks. Just follow 5 p.m. Eastern and go from there. Shit. I love you guys. Bye.
5 p.m. Pacific, not Eastern.
Bye.